Okay, I can see a lot of folks joining in right now. Right, good. So welcome everyone. We have 15 minutes till we officially kickstart the session. So, we'll spend just the first 10 minutes generally discussing anything and everything related to game development. My name is Mayank Grover. I'm founder of Outscal. I have Malhar with me as well, who's a subject matter expert when it comes to game development. Um, I've been in the industry for 10 plus years, building games in India, in US, and across the board as well. So have a good amount of experience understanding this industry. So we have about 15 minutes before we officially kickstart the masterclass at 7. So if anybody has any questions related to the game industry, game development, technical questions related to Unity engine, or if you have any questions related to Outscale's full stack game development program, which trains people for getting jobs in the industry, etc. Anything that you guys might want to ask, just feel free to drop it in the chat. Malhar and I are happy to take up your questions. And then at exact 7, we'll kickstart the masterclass today as well. Okay. Awesome. So it looks like we already have our first question, Aditya. Is this also same session or it will be different Zoom meeting room? Aditya, I'm not sure what exactly. Today our focus will be on C++ and building a text-based adventure game in C++. So that will be our focus for today. I'm not sure if that is what you're asking. If you have, Aditya attended the masterclass on Saturday, that was Unity. So today it will be C++. Okay. So what are we going to learn in this? Yeah, so that exactly what I answered. So we'll be focusing on learning C++ today. Okay. Do we need any download or any app? Nope. So today we'll be doing everything inside our Chrome browser. So if you're on your desktop, that's great. I would highly encourage that you come or you join, if possible, through a desktop or a laptop, so that it's easier for you to code while you are seeing the tutorial live as well. And if you don't have a laptop or a desktop, that's okay. You can work on mobile as well, but just because you're coding at the same time, you're on a small screen, it'll be difficult. So, but it's still doable. So I would recommend that you join from a second machine as well, so that you can code along. But if you just have a mobile, don't worry, follow along. The recording will get shared as well. So later you can go back and try and implement it. But today you can just learn the concepts and understand the process of game development. Okay. I'm not from the IT background. Does it help me? Absolutely. So Praveen, if you're interested in learning about game development, this is a perfect place to start. So this will give you an exposure in terms of what coding is, what game development is, whether you like it or not, etc. Right? So you will get a better sense of these things today. Okay. Especially if you're from a non-IT background, this is even more helpful to understand whether is this the right career path for you, right? Do you enjoy doing it? Do you get the feel that this can be something really exciting, right? So yeah. Is this first session? Yes. So this is first session. You don't have to worry about missing anything before this. The scope and will you be offering placements? Faisal, I think you're asking regarding the full stack game development program. So if the question is regarding the scope of game development, scope is pretty big and growing very fast. If you're familiar with that, because of COVID, coronavirus, globally gaming has gotten a very strong boost, and a lot of companies are now hiring game developers, even companies that ideally you would not imagine to be hiring game developers. For example, companies that are working on AI. DeepMind is a very popular one that got acquired by Google. So DeepMind is hiring game developers globally. Companies like Tesla globally are now hiring game developers as well. There are a lot of companies that are working in the AR, VR space that are building industry solutions, for the fashion industry, for marketing industry, etc. When they're hiring AR, VR experts or developers, they're hiring using the same skill set that you will work on when you want to become a game developer, right? So you're working on the same tools and the same skill set. So if you're working to become a game developer and learning things like C++ and Unity, which is a game engine, so the same skills are getting used in other industries as well. So Faisal, to your question regarding placements, the full stack game development program, which is 7 month long, I'll talk a little bit more specific about it in a little while, but yes, that program has placement along with it itself. So if people are going through that 7 month long program, you do get very strong chances of getting placed immediately after the program, and sometimes even before the program actually finishes as well. Okay, I'll come back to that point in more details. I think there are way too many questions. I might have to skip some of those, but let me see. Okay, I'm a BCom student. Can I make a career? Yes, Rizwan, that's absolutely possible. One thing that we have seen change in the last 3 years is that companies are not looking at degrees, they're looking at skills. So this is a very typical scenario of somebody coming from a completely different environment. We have people in our full stack game development program that are that had classically done arts degree or animation, completely non-technical design. They were not from a BTech background at all, right? Forget computer science, they were not even from BTech background. They have now successfully transitioned to become game developers as well. So definitely possible. I'm not saying that it's an easy road. By no means transitioning into a technical role when you're from a non-technical background, it is hard, but it's very rewarding and very satisfying when you make that transition and see yourself successful, right? So it depends on your determination. It's doable. It's very much doable because people before you have done it. But obviously, you will need to be determined that you need to be really passionate about building games and playing games, etc., in order to make that success happen. Okay. Mohammed Rashid is asking why not C#. So Mohammed, today's masterclass focuses on C++ because the game industry heavily uses C++ as well. When it comes to C#, the programming language, it gets used in Unity. So we have another workshop and masterclass that happens on Saturdays, which focuses on topics related to Unity. That one is slightly more intermediate to advanced in nature. And usually people with zero prior coding experience, today's workshop is a very good starting point. Okay, so if you're completely new to programming, today is going to be your first introductory baby steps into what programming is and how do you start thinking about programming games. And then the Unity workshop on Saturday will help you focus on C# and Unity, but it touches on slightly more advanced and intermediate concepts as well. Okay, but in a way that you can still understand. So the topic for Saturday's masterclass will be how do you implement skins inside games. So if people are familiar with games like Call of Duty or PUBG, all these games where you can customize your character with different skins and different clothes, etc. How do those get implemented really inside games in a way that once you implement as a developer, it's just the artist putting in more artwork for these assets, but then engineers don't need to change anything, right? So how do you build something like that within a game that can grow to hundreds and thousands of new designs and artists, but programmers don't need to implement anything? That's how real programming happens inside the game industry, right? So we'll touch on those kind of topics inside Saturday's masterclass. Today, we'll cover something much more fundamental with C++, because C++ is also very popular and very powerful language when it comes to game development. Okay, it's used in the Unreal game engine. A lot of big companies like EA, Ubisoft use it in their own proprietary game engine as well, right? So EA has its own engine called Frostbite. So C++ gets used there. So bigger companies will use their proprietary engines or Unreal. In that case, you need to learn C++. If you're working in Unity, you need to know C#, but there's a very close relationship between the two languages. Krishna Raj is asking issues of video game design while developing the same. I'm not sure if you can elaborate that question. I think your question is interesting, but I'm not 100% sure if I understood the question. Yes, Sahil, we will be getting the recording for today's session. So don't worry, in case you drop out due to bad internet or something, you can always just reconnect back, and whatever you missed, you can catch up through the recording itself. Okay. Rizwan is saying, I forgot all the programming. I left all those 2 years ago. No worries. Rizwan, we currently have people who are 40+ years old. They have never done programming in their life. They are very passionate about games and are now working in the program, the full stack game development program, to become game developers. So at the end of the day, are you passionate about building games? And are you really, really, enthusiastic and want to put in the hard work to become a game developer, right? Then that's the only recipe to success. If you've already done some programming in the past, that's just an extra bonus. Okay, it will just help you move much, much faster. Will we get notes? Not sure what notes. You can take notes. You'll get the full recording again. But yeah. Keshav is asking, CS background, is it necessary for the course? No, Keshav, that's not necessary. You will need, if you have CS background, that's helpful, because then you can aim for even the best of the best companies. But then if you don't have CS background, that's not a disadvantage, just that it will be slightly harder to start. But then once you learn the fundamentals, it will become easier. Okay. Aditya is asking, I hate arena animation as they are just marketing, but I don't know in technique difference between arena animation game dev course and Outscal games. Okay, so let me come back to this answer because it's slightly more specific. I don't know exactly what arena animation is teaching inside the game dev course. For us specifically, because I have been in the industry for 10+ years, I've worked with EA, not in India, but in US. I've worked at EA in US. I've worked at companies like Dana in US, Kixeye in San Francisco, Gray Sauce in Dubai. I've worked with a bunch of companies in India. We understand what the game industry wants professionally, because I have hired a lot of engineers myself. I know what the game industry is looking for when companies want to hire kick-ass developers, right? So some of our past developers are working with the, you guys know this game, 4G. So one of our alumni from cohort 2 is working with 4G. Another alumni is working with now Ubisoft. There are a bunch of other alumni that are working with a lot of new startups that are getting a lot of funding and are building kick-ass game projects, sometimes focused on India market, sometimes focused on global market, right? Because we closely understand what the industry wants, we are not just a tech startup, but we are focused more on job placement. That's the key thing. And that's where I think the focus changes. How do we prepare the course? How do we set up the projects? All those pieces change drastically when the core goal is to get placements, right? So that's, I think I'm just talking about our mentality. I don't know what arena animation does. And by the way, one of the fun fact is that one of arena animation's senior manager or somebody who was managing the entire state of Kerala for 3 years as like he was an employee of arena animation. He's now actually enrolled in the course. So it's a separate funny story, but anyways, okay, let me come back to the questions. Industry in India is very low. How is it beneficial? Mohammed Rashid asking, game development industries in India is very less. Classic, beginner mistake. What ends up happening is that at the end of the day, Mohammed, great question, but the way I'll answer it is just not for you, right? Like imagine I am Mayank, right? If I have to think about where do I want to build my career, how many jobs do I need at any given time? I can only do one full-time job. Do I need 10,000 jobs to be successful? No, right? I just need one kick-ass job in order to build my career successfully, right? Which means the moment you start your job, after that, you'll get more job offers, right? But getting that good start is very important, right? And majority people end up making this mistake thinking, oh, game development is such a small industry, whereas web development is huge, right? Data science is huge. It is correct. The numbers are there. But what we don't end up realizing, the competition for web development is also 10 times bigger. If one person is thinking about becoming a game developer, 100 people are thinking about web development, and there might be only 10 jobs for web development. So now 100 people are competing for those 10 jobs, but one person is competing for the 5 jobs that are available, right? So majority of the time we don't understand the math because we look at one element of it, but not many. And at the end of the day, you just need one fucking job to get your career to an awesome start, right? You don't need 20,000 jobs at the same time in the industry. People just don't understand the math, and we don't evaluate it objectively based on data. So that's my common thing about how people think about the industry broadly, right? Is there any placement in India? About, of course, there is one. Otherwise, we'll not be doing this program at all, right? I would not leave a job that pays higher than a Google engineer working with some best of the best game companies, both internationally and locally, to start something here, right? So yes, definitely there are a lot of placement opportunities, and majority of the time companies are not finding talent. Because if you think about it, look at any big university, lovely professional university, Amity University, that have a lot of computer science talent, right? They have huge computer science department. They're all teaching HTML, they're all teaching JavaScript, they're all teaching React JS as part of the core computer science program, but nobody's teaching game development, right? Which means companies are not getting talent anywhere. So one of our candidates that I told you about, who's now working with 4G game, the company is called Encore. The moment he graduated, his first job was with another famous company called Gamation. I'm not sure if you guys know about the company Gamation, but it's the company that makes the game Ludo King. So hugely popular, the biggest game in India right now in terms of numbers of players playing the game daily, right? So generally speaking, right, like that one person, he had 3 years of industry experience. He still joined our program because he knew that his advanced skill set was lacking. And after 3 years of work experience, he was still stuck in a low CTC. After that, he was able to jump and get into a very high paying CTC with first Gamation. And within 6 months, he was able to get into Encore games before 4G came out. So he was the guy who was part of the core team building the 4G game, right? So what I'm trying to highlight here is that once you get a good start, right, then your career trajectory completely changes. So that's the key focus for us as well. How do we get our students the best possible start in this industry through our game development program? Okay. I know, guys, there are a bunch of questions, but we will overshoot with time, and I want to get the workshop as well started. So let me do a quick official kickoff, and then we'll jump in 2 more questions as well. Okay. So let me grab order. Okay, awesome. So it looks like we have a very good set of folks who are excited about the game industry, asking a lot of meaningful questions. So I'm already excited to for today's session. So welcome everyone. My name is Mayank Grover. I'm the founder of Outscal. I've been a game developer for 10 years. I didn't start as a game developer. I started as a developer with a finance company called DE Shaw. If you guys are from a tier 1 college, you know, majority of the time DE Shaw comes on campus for tier 1 colleges. I got placed in DE Shaw in 2008. That was my first job. But quickly realized I loved programming and I loved games. So I wanted to marry the two. I ended up going to US to do my master's from Carnegie Mellon, and then worked with a bunch of companies in San Francisco building games. Dana, Kixeye, EA, all these companies were there. And then I moved back to India, worked with casino companies, worked with a bunch of companies in Dubai, in Singapore, remotely as well, to help them build game teams as well as game products. And then started Outscale because I knew it took me 4 years to transition into the game industry. I wanted to build something which can help more people like me to transition into this industry, but not take fucking 4 years. I know for me, it was a very hard road to make that transition happen. I wanted to make that pain point easier for a lot of other people as well. So that's what got started Outscale in 2018. And today, we are at a stage where the team is still small, 12 people now full time, but we are now working with 100 plus students, a lot of alumni who have already graduated and are now working with some kick-ass companies. Malhar actually is an alumni as well. He graduated from batch 3 and he went and got placed in 4 months itself. So the program is 7 months long, but he got his placements in month 4. And then he went on to work with a company in Bangalore. And then from there on, after working in that company for 6 months, he was working on a cricket game. I hired him back. So usually the story is that I end up hiring the best game developers that come out of Outscale. So generally speaking, I think that's the core motto behind Outscale, to help more and more people become successful in this industry. Okay. So Malar, any quick words that you want to share as well?
Yeah, that's a really great introduction. Thanks a lot. And I am also thrilled to see you guys. I'm really excited to go forward with this workshop. So yeah, like as Mayank sir already told, I was a student of batch 3 and currently we are running 17th batch, right? So like that was a great journey from 3 to 17. And yeah, like I really love to connect with people, really love to interact with people, and yeah, that's why I decided to join Outscale's journey, and right now I'm enjoying at Outscale. Yeah, a little bit missing game development, but yeah, still figuring out what to do.
Perfect, cool, awesome. So I know there are a bunch of questions. Let me just take a 2-minute pause and come back to answering those questions. But what we'll do is we'll play a quick game. So what I'd request you guys to do is, for the next 2 minutes, if you can open up your camera and switch your screen from speaker view in Zoom to the gallery view. Okay, we'll just play a very quick game. It doesn't matter if there is too much distraction around, if there are other folks around behind the scenes, it's okay. We'll just play a quick game, and if you guys can pop on your camera open and switch into the gallery view, I think that'll be fantastic. And I'll quickly explain what game we are going to play. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Just drop me a thumbs up if what I just mentioned regarding the game is clear. Yep. Oh, okay. I still don't see majority of the people are still camera shy. Is that it? Or people don't have cameras? But if you guys can join in, I think you'll enjoy the overall experience of the game as well. Okay. Without the camera, it will not be fun. Trust me. This game is something that that you will get to know the rest of the audience. I'll get to know you guys, and we'll be able to have a great sort of a session going forward as well. Okay. So if you guys can, do you guys have the permission? Oh, sorry, my
Okay.
bad. I think the
Yeah.
permission was disabled. Probably that's why. Sham, can you just check if the permissions can be fixed, please?
Yeah. I fixed it. No
Ah,
issues.
cool. All right, awesome. Cool, guys. So if you can just try enabling the camera for the next couple of minutes, we'll play a very quick game. Okay. So I'll start explaining what the game is. Okay. So what we'll do is, I'll ask a series of questions. All we have to do is answer in yes or no. Okay. But the way we answer it is by covering our camera and hiding our faces. Okay. So if you can take your thumb, hand, whatever it is, just go ahead and cover your camera. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'll do a dummy question, and that way we'll get to know how to play. Okay. So if your name starts with M, show yourself. So basically, if your first letter of your name starts with M, then you basically just remove the hand. Okay. So hopefully the game is very straightforward and easy to understand. All right, perfect. So let's cover up the camera again, and I'll go to the next question. Okay, good. So if you have played any game in the last 24 hours, show yourself. Okay, great. So a lot of people playing games. Awesome. That's good to see. All right, next question. If you have played a game in the last 4 hours, show yourself. Okay, still quite a lot of people are playing during the day. Okay, working day, a lot of people playing games. I get this. I get this. Okay, awesome. Next, uh, if you have played a game in the last 30 minutes since we started the Zoom call, show yourself. Okay, so Komal, Shashwat, interesting. You guys are playing while you're on the Zoom call. Okay, I think we have some hardcore gamers here as well. Okay, awesome. If you have, okay, next question. So if you have built any game project, it can be a YouTube video series, some tutorial. If you have built any game project, just show yourself. Okay, so Akshay is giving a thumbs up. Nikhil, Komal, that's great to see. Okay, perfect. Okay, last question. So if you have thought of becoming a professional game developer before you even knew about Outscale or even heard the word Outscale. Okay, quite a good number of folks. Perfect. So awesome. So thanks everyone for playing along. Got a little bit glimpse of who is in the audience, what you guys are doing. Would have loved if more people would have joined in, but that's okay as well. Not a problem. Awesome. So you guys can now keep the camera on, keep it off, whatever you feel comfortable with, and you can switch back to the speaker view. So thanks everyone for participating. Looks like there's a little bit of dirt on my camera. Okay, much better. Cool. Awesome. So I think, Malad, there were some questions that we missed. What we'll do is we'll just take 5 minutes of questions and then we'll jump into the C++ assignments / workshop for today. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Malad, do you want to tag team with me on the questions? I think there are too many questions that I missed.
Yeah.
Will we get any certificate at the end? Yes. Once you make the submissions from today complete, then you will be shared a certificate, but just do make sure to check your email because the certificate will be shared on your email. Okay. Prerequisites for the program, absolutely none. We don't care if you have a computer science background. We don't care if you come from a art background or a BCom background. It doesn't matter to us as long as the only prerequisite is that you need to be really, really passionate about game development. If you're passionate about it, you'll succeed in this industry and you'll succeed in the program. But if you're not passionate about it, most likely you will drop off because it will be a hard road. Like just figure out whether you're passionate, and using these master classes is the best way to figure out if this is something that you feel passionate about. I know basics of Python for design to learn for designing the game. Sorry, the chat is scrolling once again. I know the basics of Python for the game design to learn other programming languages. Yes, so you will have to learn other programming languages because Python is fine for some smaller projects, but usually industry will not use Python as the main programming language when it comes to game development. You will have to use other programming languages like C++ or C#. Okay. Is it an internship? Pushkar, not sure what you mean. Is it an internship? If your college needs an internship certificate while you're going through a program, we have given that in the past, but I'm not sure whether that's the question or not. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I see the follow-up chat. Yes, Pushkar, that's definitely doable. We'll give an internship certificate, and that should be good for your university as well, because we have done that in the past for a lot of MTech students and BTech students as well. I've started learning Java. Does it help or not? Java also is used in game development, but not that popular. But what if you have started learning Java, Praveen, then one thing that will definitely help you is that a lot of the concept for object-oriented programming, and this is a topic that Malhar will touch on today as well, a lot of the principles and concepts used inside object-oriented programming will remain the same. So once you have that knowledge of Java, if your fundamentals are strong, you'll be able to learn C++ and C# very quickly. Okay, so that should not be a problem. Kumar Advait is saying, if I have a gap of 3 to 4 years, will that be a problem? Absolutely not. Like I said, there are people with 40 plus years of age So take your guess, right? Like people will get placed in companies if you can showcase that you are a developer and you have the right skills. For that, you have to showcase that you can build game projects and you can do these things that the companies want, right? Like you can clear coding problems, you can implement solutions that are efficient, etc. All the things that a company cares about for you to become a kick-ass programmer and a game developer, right? If you're able to showcase those things, they don't care too much about whether you have a 3-4 year experience. Out of 150 or 200 companies, maybe one company is a fucking idiot company that cares about this shit, but 99.9% of the other companies that really care about the best quality talent, they don't give a shit about this. Okay. I have a good hold on JavaScript, Node.js, and React. Yes, that can definitely help because Node.js can be used for building multiplayer game projects as well. So learning Unity, learning the fundamentals of OOPS, and building highly scalable game projects will help. And then Node.js can be used as a backend for building multiplayer games. Okay. And actually, one of the projects inside our 7-month program focuses on multiplayer games as well. Okay. How is the demand for female game programmers in the game development industry? A lot. In fact, yesterday only, I was talking to a couple of bigger studios, and because they have to meet diversity quotas and these are publicly traded companies and they have public goals. When I say public goals, means they have publicly listed goals that they have to have this much strength of female versus male audience within the employees. Game development, there is a very high demand for more females to participate. And in fact, this is not yet publicly being announced, but today only I announced within the company that we'll be setting up a 20% extra scholarship for females that want to become game developers professionally as well. So in case you are thinking about it, you can definitely qualify for that 20% extra scholarship as well. Okay. That's something that we are also encouraging a lot. And I know that in order to make the best possible games, you need a good mix of both female developers as well as male developers. Okay. I don't know anything about programming. No worry, Praveen. Sorry, Pawan. This is the perfect place to start. Are we going to make Mr. Blocks? No, this is different. Mr. Blocks was a Unity game project. This is completely different. This is a C++ game project. So if you have attended Mr. Blocks, perfect. You can attend this one and you'll learn something very new. Okay. How many series of funding have you been able to raise for Outscal? Atmadeep, right? That's a very private question. Right now, we haven't yet disclosed anything related to that. So unfortunately, I cannot answer that. Okay. I have learned in Java class object polymorphism exactly that, Praveen. All those topics regarding OOPS will help, and in fact, it will help today. Okay. Cool, awesome, guys. I know we missed some of the questions. If there is something that is super critical, just ping it again in the chat. But without taking too much more time, I want to hand over the mic to Malhar, and now so that we can actually start jumping into the building of the game project itself. But before we do, if anyone is interested in applying for the 7-month program as well, the full stack game development program, which comes with a lot of job placement support as well. So you can directly email admissions as well, or just complete the assignment and the team will reach out to you. Because if you don't complete the assignment, we will not take you into the program. That's for sure. Because we need really hardcore people and the batches are very small, 10 people, 15 people batches, and you get to interact with a lot of industry mentors. We don't do 100 people batches or some shit like that. Batches are very small and we focus on high quality people so that when we send out resumes to companies, it's a sure shot that companies will select those candidates, right? So it's high quality focus. So focus on today's assignment, completing the game project. If you really want to think about becoming a game developer professional, that's the #1 criteria. Okay. So we'll be there to help you across the way, but we'll have to see that you're passionate about it. Okay. Perfect. So without further ado, Malhar, take it over and let's jump into some awesome C++.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. So guys, just before starting it, I just want to launch a quick poll. So just make sure that you are reading the questions. It will hardly take few seconds. I have made the poll live. So it will be helpful for you as well as us to know the audience, right? So please participate in the poll. There are three questions inside a poll. You just need to read those and you just need to answer those. As simple as that. I'm just ending the poll, guys. Thanks a lot for your participation. Please participate. I will just 1 minute. I will just wait 1 minute. 68% of people have participated till now. Hey guys, come on, please just participate. Thanks a lot. So I'm just sharing the results. So here you can see there is a mixed amount of audience. So even if you are coming from a non-technical background or non-coding background, you just don't need to worry. If you are passionate, surely you can make an awesome career in this industry. Okay. So I will just stop sharing the results. So that's about it. I know you guys are waiting for a long time to get it started, right? So I will be sharing very important details. First of all, I have shared a link inside a chat. Please take care of this link unless and until your submissions are over. I have started sharing the screen. You can you can just see my screen. Just give me thumbs up in the chat if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, thank you. What about others? I hope everybody can see my screen. So just access the link. Yeah, thank you. So in the entire workshop, I will be asking bunch of questions. I will be interacting with you guys. Okay. So it is very important to give me feedbacks in terms of chat, whether you are understanding it or whether you have some doubts. So I will be pausing on a several time, like during the workshop. So I will highly encourage that you are asking your questions at that time only, because while I'm explaining the things, it is very, very important to give your maximum attention towards the explanation and not towards the chat. So, in short, like I will be pausing many times during the workshop for the questions and feedbacks. Just like now, like if you can see my screen, give me thumbs up. Same thing I will be keep on doing throughout the workshop. So please pay attention while I'm explaining. And after that, you can bring your doubts in the dedicated Q&A time. So that's a small request from my end. Okay, I'm just sharing the link again. So everybody, this is the link. Please bookmark this link somewhere. This is the entire link. Here you will get all the information. I will quickly cover the details of this link soon, but I hope everybody can access this link at the moment. So this is something called as task list. I will be explaining two tasks, and inside that there will be four assignments we will be doing. So how I access this task one? So this will be your main page. So all these are nothing but different child pages. You just need to click on those to reveal the details. So task one, RPG adventure game in C++. To reveal the details, you just need to click those. As simple as that. You will be seeing four assignments. Don't worry about them. We will come back to them. Then comes workshop recording. Some people were asking where and when the recordings will get shared. So I will be sharing the recording exact in this page. I will update this page and I will add the link here, and you can access the recording of today's workshop if you are facing any network issues or you need to bounce off for some reason. So don't worry about that. You can anytime access the recordings using this link only. So Then comes the join full stack game development program. In this, you will get everything that you needed for entire information about orientation, entire breakdown of 7 month classes and all the stuff. You will see all the curriculum details, what will be covered and all the stuff. So in short, if you are interested for the full stack game development program, you will be accessing this link and going through the details. As simple as that. Then comes the feedback, and then comes the, if you are facing any issues, you can request a callback for our admissions team. So this is all about this page. I hope everybody is interested. Now I will be jumping into the task 1. Guys, really sorry, I just can't keep sharing the link again and again. Please just bookmark it. Otherwise it will kill your time as well as everybody else time as well. Okay, so this is the link that I'm sharing. So yeah, like right now I'm jumping into the task 1. So inside assignment 1, you will see a page like this. Now I will quickly explain what is Ripple. So just type this and just log in with the ripple8.com. As simple as that. If I will just quickly log out for you. So this is the website that I have shared you in the chat. Some of you might be knowing it. You simply need to sign up. If you don't have any Ripple8 account, you just need to log in. If you have already Ripple account, what is Ripple? I will anyways share you. But yeah, just access this website. This website is very important for our today's activities. So just sign up if you haven't done it. If you are using Ripple8 for first time, and continue with Google or Facebook, whatever you are comfortable with. As simple as that. I will simply log in at the moment. I will continue with the Google. So as simple as that, you can complete a quick setup of the Ripple. I will wait for only 1 minute. If your Ripple setup is done, please let me know. Again, I am sharing the Ripple8 link. Yes, Siddharth, I will be sharing the recording. And I have already discussed it with the class where the recording will be visible. Here you will be seeing the recording in this page. Okay. I'm waiting for your Ripple setup. Once you are logged in with the Ripple, please give me thumbs up, guys. Please give me thumbs up if you are done with the Ripple setup. Okay, thanks a lot, Sarfaraj, for the confirmation. That's fine. If you don't have PC at the moment. But yeah, like feel free to rewatch the recording. And actually, you can do these activities in the mobile as well. But yeah, try to pay the attention. I hope everybody is clear with the Ripple instruction. You just need to sign up or sign in. If you are facing any issues, please let me know. I'm waiting for 1 minute. Okay. Is everybody done with the Ripple login? Everybody is clear with it. Okay, Sumit, can you please finish it? Are you facing any issues Ripple with Ripple? I will be starting exactly at 7:30 for the further things. If you have any question, please let me know in the chat. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for confirmation. You don't need to go at my account. You just need to create your own account. Akshrit Raj. Okay. You just type this link into your browser. Then you just need to sign up or sign in. Okay. Thank you everybody. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just starting again. For any reason, if you are facing that you are lagging behind, you are not understanding or whatever, please feel free to chat, use chat. And as I am sharing this recording link at the end of the workshop, you don't need to worry, you don't need to panic. Just try to learn maximum things out of this workshop. Don't try to rush, don't try to rush the workshop. Just stay calm and keep learning and keep making notes. Okay. So what will be the output at the end? I will quickly show you. I hope you guys can see my screen. So today we are making this game. This game name is Letho the True Warrior. So here you can see I have created a story, how to print something on the screen. We will start from the basics, don't worry about it. But yeah, here you can see our game is interactive. The console is saying press S to start the game and any other key to exit. So I'm just pressing S. So again you will see the new screen. Hello, like Hollow Knight is our boss of this game. We are trying to defeat him. There are several health parameters as well as attack parameters and additional damage with the proper range, right? Parameters are already given to our enemy as well as player. So here, like if you scroll up here, you can see our player health, player XP level, attack damage, additional damage, and healing capacity as well. So we have given bunch of abilities to our player. So this is how actual games are made, right? You have health in your game, you have XP, you have level, and all the stuff in your game. So we will learn all about how this entirely working. We will learn about how randomized things are working. And yeah, like I'm now and now console is asking press A to attack Hollow Knight or press H to heal yourself. Right now I'm attacking, so I attack. Then some message is coming. Okay, 20 damage is done and 6 additional damage is done. Total damage is 26. Hollow Knight's health after receiving damage is 124. So all this logic, like giving damage to the enemy, taking damage from the enemy. Right now in this section, my player is taking damage from the enemy. All the things are implemented in game, and today we will learn how these things are implemented in an object oriented way. Okay, so we will start with basic. Those who already know about basics, try to stick around with it for some time. I hope you will learn something new. But once we start object oriented thing and how actual games are coded in such a way that then you will found it very interesting and thrilling. Now I will quickly show you what happens if I press H. So Letho held healed by 12. So health after healing 92. This is how health mechanics work in games. And again, Hollow Knight has can only attack. So again, enemy is dealing damage. Again, our health is becoming after receiving damage is 68. So by this way, we will create a game loop, and you will have the entire game running in a similar fashion. So I will quickly spam attacks and I will try to finish this game. So this is how game will finish. Hollow Knight, it's my turn, and now Letho's health after receiving damage is 0. Our great warrior sacrificed himself for the kingdom. Little bit small spice of the story, but yeah, in this scenario, our hero died and our enemy won. But yeah, if you keep on playing, there is a proper randomization happening. Sometimes your player can win, sometimes your uh, enemy can win, right? So there is tons of functionalities implemented inside this game. We will look at it. Are you Hollow Knight is a good guy? Yeah, Pushkar, you are right. But yeah, like all good till now. Are you guys excited to build this thing with me? Yes, no? Come on, at least give me some cheer to start the workshop. How to go to console? Don't worry, Jagal. I will anyways explain everything. I just shared what will be the end product of this workshop. Okay, and don't expect that you will be coding it from the scratch, right? For learning this thing, I invested 2 to 3 years of my life, and I have created such kind of classes, such kind of methods. But yeah, like this is not a project that you can do in 3 hours, but we will provide you some interesting stuff where you can learn everything, how it is implemented and all this stuff. But yeah, don't worry about it. uh but yeah, like this is how our actual end product will look like. I'm just closing this window, but I hope everybody is in the login page of the rippleit.com as of now. And then you can see I'm just coming back to our master page, and right now I'm accessing the task 1. After that, I'm just clicking to the assignment 1, and then you will find a link here, a ripple link of the code that we will gonna learn today for the assignment 1. After clicking this, you will get this window. Inside this window there will be a fork button. I will again repeat some steps. Oops. So this is our master page. Okay, this is our master page. I clicked to the task 1, then I clicked to the assignment 1. After that, for a forking ripple link, what is fork? You are taking someone else code and you are trying to modify that code. As simple as that. This is what fork means inside ripple. So you just need to click here. After clicking here, this new window will pop up where you will see Letho part 1. And after that, you just need to click the fork button. So your account will contain the exact same code that we have shared with you. As simple as that. We need to follow this procedure as of now. I hope everything is clear till now. I'm waiting again for 1 minute to do this setup, initial setup. I will be explaining what is console, how to write a code, and all the stuff later. Just give me thumbs up or confirmation in the chat once you are done with this setup. You just need to do some clicks and you just need to click on that fork. I guess Juggle is saying done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for confirmation. Are you guys facing any issues? Atharva, thank you. Pawan, thanks a lot for confirmation. Yeah, if you are facing any issues while this process, please help me. Please allow me to tackle those in the chat, okay? Rest everybody is done with this setup, or are you guys stuck? Okay, done. That's great. Thanks a lot. Okay, guys, that's it. So this is how Ripple look like. What is Ripple? Ripple is online compiler which will help us to code in C++ or in any other language. Right now, this workshop covers C++ programming language, but Ripple is a platform where you can code in any language. If you are a Python programmer, you can code here. If you are a Java programmer, you can code here. But ultimately, Ripple is an online compiler which includes bunch of support for the bunch of languages, and we will do code here, and we can exactly see output in the console right hand side here. How it will happen, I will gonna explain it to you. So this is a typical C++ program. You can see, don't worry about this at the moment. Just focus on the things that I'm explaining at the moment, and then again I will wait for some doubts and confirmation. So these are the two lines which are almost required for every C++ program. If you already know about programming, you might be knowing about these two lines. If you are totally new to the programming, I will just explain that this line just takes care of the input and output, that is IO stream, input output stream, and the another line is using namespace standard. So namespace is some library where all the fruitful definitions of the functions are written. And basically, these two lines are the prerequisites for writing any program in the C++. Nile, which link you are sharing? Which link you are asking? I don't know. Malhar, can all this being come in workshop recording because my internet is not working? Sumit, I have already told everybody several number of times कि this entire workshop will get recorded. So don't you worry. Try to grasp maximum things out of it. Try to do the submissions, and yeah, like that will be good enough. Okay, so if you are already familiar with any programming languages, these two are nothing but the prerequisites for writing any of the program. Many fruitful functions which are required to run our program are because of these two lines. Don't worry much about these two lines. This comes under by default when you create any C++ program. But yeah, like that's about these two lines. Ignore this entire thing as of now. I'm coming back to the main function. So this is something called as int. Int stands for integer. I will explain a lot of things about what is this and how it works later. As of now, again, ignore. Now focus on main. Okay. This is the typical syntax. Syntax means structure of a function. Inside C++ language, this is how a function looks like. What is a function? Right now, I am speaking to you. That is a human functionality. Right now you are listening to whatever I'm speaking. That is a human functionality of listening. You might be taking notes, that is writing, again a functionality. So similar to that, our programs, our programming languages, our different programs, our games works on different functionalities to work. So as the name suggests, this is a main function. Main function is the root function of entire C++ program. And overall, whatever, like the flow of execution will start from the main. Again, what is the flow of execution? I will repeat. Suppose you are reading a book. Okay, take an example. You are reading a book and you are reading line by line. Okay, that means you are reading first line, you are reading second line, you are reading third line, and so on. So on a similar basis, programs, that means compilers, also go line by line. And what I mean by the flow of execution starts from main is our program will start executing from this block. This is a block. This is something called as block. Whatever we are writing inside this curly bracket will get executed first. It is not like that these lines are above of the main, that means these lines will get executed. It doesn't work like that. Flow of the execution of the program will start from the main. If main concept is clear, what is main function? Main is a function. It's a functionality of a C++ program, and from which the flow of the execution starts. As simple as that. This is something called as block. Whatever we write inside this block will get executed first inside a C++ program. So I will wait for some time for the questions. I don't have the first two lines. Should I type it? Omkar Pawar, you need to fork the exact thing, and your output, your screen should look like exactly the same. Okay, I have told you, access the assignment one and click here, and then fork it. Okay, then fork it. Once you fork, you will see the exact output like this, exact screen like this. You should be having all the things in your screen like this. Okay, Omkar, I hope that answered your question. Sir, data structure is compulsory for game development? Obviously, yes, Maurya. Data structures is a really vast topic. Uh, Lots of fundamental things are covered in the data structures, and it is way, way more important in game development. Why int main is there? Why no return? Apurva, good question. I will cover the return type and why it is not return. By default, C++ returns 0. Okay, those who don't know what is return 0, don't worry about it. I will anyways cover it later. But answer to the Apurva's question is it will return by default 0 for the main only. Okay, this applies for main only. If you are writing some other functions, you have to mention a return type. Okay, any other questions regarding main? What is main? What is the flow of execution? What is block? How to write a function? This is how you should write a function inside C++ program. All clear till now, guys? Yes, no? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Especially non-technical people, don't worry too much. It is not like that you will learn everything of programming in 2 hours, right? But at least get a hang of how programs work, how programming works, how compilation work, and how compilers work. Okay, don't be harsh on yourself that you will learn everything in 2 hours. It's not possible. Here you can see 10-year experience guys and 2 years, 3 years experience guys are still struggling with the programming. That means it's a skill set that you can acquire over time. It is not a 2 hour or 3 hour thing. Okay. Sir, we can created use define namespace. Obviously, you can, Priyanshu, you can use, but I have kept it as simple as possible for the workshop basis. Just to conduct this workshop in a much more simplistic manner, I use the simplest code possible. But yeah, you can do anything you want if you are comfortable. I hope that answered your question. All good till now? Next, for the ready for the next point? No questions till now, guys? Can we start? Can anybody give me thumbs up to start the next one? Great, great. Thanks a lot, guys. So now let's focus in the main, what is written inside the main. I told you whatever is written inside these blocks, this is a block, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket, this is called as block, and whatever we write here will get executed. So right now, this typical thing, whatever this line called as comment, okay, comment. What I mean by comment is, again, take a take example of notes. You are writing some notes. There are some important things that are required, and again, to understand what you have written, you add some comments, you add some notes inside your notebook, right, to understand it more better way. So similar in a programming, you write some comments to understand your program in a better way. This is the entire program. You will write some comments to understand it in a more better way. How you will write it? You will type 2 forward slashes, okay, 2 forward slashes, and after that you can write anything, literally anything, blah blah blah, anything you can write here. After writing 2 forward slashes, the compiler, the program will ignore this entire line. Okay, please understand this concept. Compiler is reading line by line, and compiler will ignore all the things that you have written after the 2 forward slashes, and that will not get compiled, that will not get executed. Okay, I hope the use case why we should use comments is clear, and how it is getting ignored is clear. So that's why I wrote in a proper English language like task, call the game story function. This doesn't follow any programming syntax, but yeah, but this is very useful for me as well as you to understand what is happening, what is task. I can add any number of comments inside my program by this way. Comments concept clear, guys? Everybody? Yes, no, give me thumbs ups or doubts. Please take active participation in the program, like that will help me a lot. Okay, yeah, I hope everyone is understood what is comment and all the stuff. So what I will do, I will quickly run a program. Okay, this is how you will run a program, and here you will see output. Once I run a program, you will see there is nothing in our output. This is just a C++ thing, you can ignore it, but actual output contains nothing, because as I already told you, compiler will simply ignore this line, and this entire block is empty at the moment. Okay, so that's why we haven't seen anything inside our output. I will quickly add a line. Again, don't worry what does this line mean and what it is doing. Okay, so I wrote something inside a main. Now I will quickly run a program, and I will quickly show you what is the output. So I have written, my name is Malhar, and I have used some syntax. This is something called as syntax. I will come back to it. But yeah, I wrote something, and here you can see the exact same output in the console that I have mentioned in a double quotes. Okay, so how it is working, I will quickly tell you. So I wrote C out. C out stands for console output. That means you are telling compiler that you are outputting something on a console. This is what C out does in a programming. C out, this is opening angular brackets. Again, why opening angular brackets? Why not curly brackets here and all the stuff? Answer to these questions is syntax. What is mean by syntax? Every programming language have some precise set of rules that every programmer should follow. If I am a C++ programmer, I have to follow this rule only to write a line on a console. If you are a C++ developer, then you only have to follow the same rules for executing the program, right? This is something called as syntax, and that's what we are doing. So C out followed by 2 angular opening brackets. This is opening, right? This is opening. And after that, inside double quotes, I will quickly zoom in. So inside double quotes, I have written my name is Malhar, and I have ended that line with a semicolon. So this is how you write a single statement inside main, and that will get printed onto the console. As simple as that. If I write something else, okay, if I write something else, then that will get updated in the console. And this is how you can customize your output, whatever you want. Okay. So is everything understood how to write any output into the console, how cout works, and what this thing is entirely? Semicolon is called as, like, consider that you end every statement, English statement, with full stop. Inside most of the programming language, I guess, except Python, you end every statement with semicolon. Okay, simple, right? This is a syntax. You might ask, okay, how should we remember all the things, like use of double quotes, use of opening angular brackets, and cout and semicolon and all the stuff, two forward slashes? How we can remember this? The answer is practice. Like, if you can see, I literally wrote this single line in 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Why? Because I have because I have worked in C++ for many years. So that's the simple answer. Don't worry about syntax at the moment, but understand how program works. Okay. All good till now. Can we proceed further? Is C# easy or C++ easy? And which language can make good games? Good question, Omkar Pawar. Answer is, there is no good language. All languages are good. It's like saying, is plane good or is bike good? Okay. Comparing two languages is similar to comparing bike and plane. Bike has a different perspective. If you want to go for 2 kilometers, obviously you won't be using plane. But if you want to travel several miles, you won't be using bike. So everything has a different, what I can say, use cases. Every languages have different use cases for making games. Again, C# as well as C++ both equals. C# works better for Unity game development and for developing mobile kind of games, and C++ is better for building competitive games like CSGO, PUBG, and all the stuff, to gain the maximum efficiency, maximum frame rate possible. But again, that doesn't mean C++ is good and C# is bad. Coming back to the easy and difficult point, again, it is not easy, but I will highly recommend that C++ is somewhat tough as compared to C#, because C# has bunch of easy inbuilt functions, right? Like generating random functions. Like, this is a simple example. But in C++, you have to write that function on your own, but you get many inbuilt functionalities in C#. So answer to that question is, obviously C# is easy, but yeah, C++ is the best language to start with. Once your C++ fundamentals are clear, trust me, you can jump to any other language. This is the most, C++ is considered as most powerful and one of the difficult languages in the entire industry. So it's always start with hard one, and then you can easily shift to any other languages which are hard. Can we use Visual Studio? Obviously you can, but yeah, just stick with the Replit for this workshop. Okay. I hope that answered the question of C++ versus C#. There are very technicalities why C++ is fast and why C# is slow as compared to C++. But yeah, again, that's a huge discussion. Will take half hour. Okay, all good till now, guys. Cout statement, semicolon, and how to write a single statement. Yes, no, please give me thumbs up. I know those who are already 3 years experience guys sitting here might be feeling that, okay, this is bullshit. What is this going? But yeah, please try to understand my feelings. There are many people who are coming from non-coding background. I'm just covering basics, so I hope you can just bear for some time. Anyways, we will cover interesting parts soon. Okay, all good till now, guys? Yes, no? Very few responses in the chat. I'm sure everybody is listening and everybody is awake. No one is sleeping. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot for responses. So yeah, we covered how to write something onto the console. We will quickly cover how to call a function. Okay. So just like main, I just erase that line. Okay. I just don't want that dummy line. So just like main function, you can write your own functions as well. So please understand a difference between inbuilt, okay, inbuilt function and user defined function. In programming, it is everything is common sense. Like what is inbuilt? As the name suggests, it is an inbuilt function of a C++. C++ have the functionality written for it already. And what is this user defined function? This is the function that is defined by me, that is nothing but a user, and in this case that is nothing but a programmer. Many people called as programmer defined function as well, because programmer mostly define these. But yeah, these functions are called as user defined function. This function is called as inbuilt function. Okay. So just like inbuilt function like main, we can have multiple functions like game story. You can name it anything, but you can't name main anything. Okay. If you try to type 1 2 3 or like after the main, oops, the compiler will not compile it and compiler will give you error. Okay. So it is very important to call main in a exact same way as it is inbuilt, but you can literally call this game story anything. So this is the difference between inbuilt function and user defined function. So if you observe inside this function, I have written some lines. System in angular brackets, sorry, in normal brackets, clear. What this line is doing, this is simply clearing the console. The job of this line is to clear the console. And after this you can see out statements, and there are some messages written, and I will quickly tell you how to call a function. Okay. So now you understand what is function, what is user defined function, right? uh, just ignore void at the moment, void and int kind of things at the moment. I will touch those concepts later. But yeah, for calling a function, I will just simply write the name of that function, and I will end by the normal brackets, and I will end with the semicolon. This is how you will call a particular function. What do I mean by call is, again, go back to that example of a flow of execution. Okay. So you are reading a book, so program starts reading line by line. This line will get ignored. Once program, that is compiler, sees that, okay, game story function is called, the flow of execution will not start from 21, 22, 23 line number. Flow of execution will go back to the 7. It is like bookmarking. Inside page 10, you are saying, okay, go back to the page 2 and start reading. And then you are reading that page 2, and again after finishing that page you are coming back to the 10th page. I hope I am making sense, but this is how flow of execution works inside the programs. It is not always sequential, just like human read books. It is not like that. It can juggle around the functions. Okay. So main function will start executing line by line. In the 21st line, they will compiler will see game story is getting called, and compiler will jump to the line number 7 and start executing this. Once this line ends, the block ends, again it will start executing from 22, 23 and so on. Is the flow of execution of the program clear? Is the flow of execution of the program of the functions are clear? How to call a function is clear or not? Please give me thumbs up or confirmation. We will move to the next assignment. Okay, are you enjoying till now? We are done with the first assignment. Congratulations. And yeah, like thanks a lot everybody, those who already know all these concepts and still are waiting for the exciting stuff to start. But yeah, thanks a lot everybody for sticking till now. Okay. So yeah, congratulations. Task was call the game story functions, and we did it. As simple as that. This is how function execution work. I will quickly show you the output. So now you can see this entire story is printed onto the console. Okay. As simple as that. This is how your first program will look like. So I will just keep this page as it is. I'm coming back to our master page. Okay. I'm coming back to the master page. Again, I'm clicking the task 1, and right now we are solving assignment 2, understanding game loop. Okay. So please go to the assignment 2 and click here and follow the same procedure of forking. I just fork it, and right now you will see the updated code in a different tab. So I will just wait for 1 minute. You will see a new code written. I will explain that code as well in a quick manner. But yeah, let me know if you are done with until this. Yeah, just let me know once you have loaded the assignment 2. Thanks a lot, Praveen, for confirmation. Okay, 3 to 4 confirmations till now. Waiting for a few more. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, all good. Okay, stop using chat. Very important concepts are gonna get covered now. We will learn what is game loop. Okay. Uh, there are many programmers inside this workshop. They know what is loop, right? Loop is something that will get executed again and again in a same way. Okay, I will repeat it again. Loop is something that will get executed again and again in a same manner, in an exact same way. What is a real-time example of a loop? Okay, I wake up exactly at 6 a.m. every day. That is loop. That is nothing but happening again and again. Okay, I go to the office at 9 a.m. every day. Again, it is happening again and again. It is a loop. Okay, so this is something called as loop. And now game loop is something you might be observed. You might have observed that, okay, you are playing some game. Okay, you won level, or you won level 1, or you suppose consider you won the entire game. Then after that, something happens and game says that, okay, do you want to quit? Do you want to enter into do you want to restart the game? Do you want to see high score or whatever it is, right? And if you click on the restart, then game starts from the scratch again. Okay, I will tell the other example. Suppose you are playing a game and you are dead. Then again, some UI, that is nothing but a user interface, will pop up and say, okay, do you want to continue? Do you want to quit? Do you want to go to the main screen? Whatever those options are. But if you say restart, restart the level, restart the game will start again from the exact same point. This is something called as exact game loop. That means having a win condition as well as having a lose condition. After that, the game will repeat if user wants. This is called as game loop. Okay. Game loop concept clear, guys? We will gonna touch base to that concept in a moment. Yes, no, game loop. Every single game must have the game loop. Without that, like, no game can exist. Okay, now you can relate the examples in your head. Okay, how this game loop is working, how that game loop is working, and all the stuff, right? Great, all good. So we covered this. We covered functions. We covered user defined functions, how to write something onto the console, and all the stuff. Now I have added some things below this, right? I have told that, okay, covered till part 1, and below that, this is the new thing for you. I will quickly gonna share you again. Do me a favor, ignore these lines for now and start from this line. Okay, what is do, what is character? This is actually char, that stands for character, just like int stands for integer. I will come back to the data types, but yeah, right now just focus on this line. C out, press S to start the game, and any other key to exit. I am writing a message in such a way that I am asking some input from the user. Okay, so this is a C out message. What is /n? /n is nothing but a line terminator. Don't worry much about it. /n will create a new line. If I am writing /n again and again, that means I want this message to get printed after 2 line spaces. Like, in short, you are hitting enter inside a console. As simple as that. /n stands for that. So I wrote this. End line will do the exact same thing as /n. I personally use end line because it helps in a readability. Again, don't worry about end L and /n. Those are called as line terminators. So press S to start the game or any other key to exit. I have written this message for user, and inside the next line, I am writing C in. And here you can see, I will zoom in a bit. Okay, yeah. For C out, I will just separate it. For C out, we are using opening angular brackets, but for C in, for taking the input from the console, that is console input, we are using closing angular brackets. Okay, so that's what we are doing. We are telling the user press any key to exit or S to start the game. That is what we are planning to do it. So what a programmer should think of is, okay, I am asking for a key, right? I am asking for a keyboard key. That is nothing but a letter. That can be S, that can be J, K, L, whatever. It can be anything if user wants to exit, but it should be S if the user wants to start the game. So in short, I am taking a letter as an input. So I need to store that data into somewhere. And this is where concept comes into picture of variables. Okay, this entire thing is called as variable combined with char, that means data type. You might argue why it is only char. The answer is I am taking key, and that's why I know user will only gonna input character from the keyboard, and that's why I am choosing the data type as a char, and I am writing some name of it. I can name it anything. So this is the data type that I have mentioned of my data, and this is the name of that variable, and this entirely forms as a variable. As simple as that. I have created a variable of a data type char. Why character? Because I am asking for a key. After declaring this, I am using console input to take whatever input given by the user into this variable. As the name suggests, variable has the ability to vary. This can be S, this can be any other key. That means it is varying. It is varying. It is not constant. Okay, so please understand the concept of variable. Okay, for implementing this, you should be needing one variable. All the things no one will tell you. By being a programmer, you need to think of a logic. Okay, I'm asking for a key. That means I need a character, and I will take that input inside that character, and I will build some logic. I will come back to that logic, but before that, to think in a data manner, like every developer should think in a data. Okay, I'm asking for a key, then I have to use a character data. If I'm asking for a age, I should be using integer. If I'm asking for a name, I should be using string. There are different data types inside programming. We are not touching all of them inside this workshop, but yeah, I hope data type, what is variable, and how to take input is clear. Okay, I will wait for some time. Just let me know data type, variable, and how to take input is clear till now. Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, everybody is smart. Everybody is fast learner. Okay, so we ignored what is do as of now, but yeah, we understood what is variable, what is data, what is data type, how to decide a data type. Obviously, I'm asking for a key, then I have to go for a character only. There is no point declaring here integer. So by this way, you will take decisions as per the logic. So I have taken input from the user, and this is something called as if else. Okay, if else, as the name suggests, we are telling that if start game, this is nothing but a variable name. Do while is loop. Yeah, Praveen, I am about to explain that, but in a bit. But yeah, thanks a lot for pointing that out. So if else, inside if else, we will write all the logical statements. It is also called as conditional programming. What I mean by conditional programming is, if if this is true, then only this block will get executed, and else if this is not true, then this else block will get executed. As simple as that. Okay. So I will tell you how it is computing. So start game is our variable name. We are checking that, okay, is start game is double equal to small s, or this two vertical bars represents in a programming as a or. Okay, or English, proper English, or what I mean by that is, I am fine with small s as well as I am fine with capital S. Whatever it is it small s, or is it capital S? Go under this block. Else, if it is not small s or not capital S, go under this block. Okay, as simple as that. This is how this piece of code is working. I will quickly show you the output of this code, so it will get cleared. I will zoom out for output. I am running the program. Here the story is getting printed. We have seen it before the in the first assignment. Right now I'm pressing small s. Okay, after that you will see welcome to the game, and that is exactly I have written inside this block. And this block will not get executed because this condition got true. As simple as that. I will quickly run it again and I will input something different. So I will input now J, and here the program is saying thank you for playing Letho, a true warrior. That means it's an exit message. Those are not proper entry and exit message. That's a task for you. Write your customized welcome messages to the player and write your customized exit messages inside these blocks. But is if else concept clear, guys? Till now, is it clear how if else are working? Yes, no? Any doubts till now? Yeah, thanks a lot. Is there any programmer in the room? Any developer who already know programming? Please, chat something. Only developer who know all about, like who has some knowledge of development. Okay, 3 people, I guess. Okay, 4 people. Yeah, thank you. Could you explain about system keyword? Yeah, like Komal, nice question. System is nothing but again, it's like a syntax. This is a library. Inside system, you will get whatever commands that you want to run. So I'm just passing clear. This is nothing but a syntax for clearing up the console. Once this line will get executed, everything will get cleared. As simple as that. System is an entire library. After that, whatever you pass in these double quotes, as per that, the functionality of system changes. Okay, I guess many developers are there, but I hope I'm keeping it more interactive and more fun way. So I hope these are not too. Yeah, I'm explaining. I'm writing a loop. Like this is the next thing I will explain. But yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody is enjoying. I know these are very basic stuffs, but majority of the developers don't even know how to take that decision of which data type to choose, right? Why do while loops use? Why don't we use loop? Daniel, I will come back to that question, but I hope Komal, that answered your previous question regarding system. Okay. I'm coming to that question regarding loop, but yeah, I hope everything is clear till now for everybody. If else, right? Give me thumbs up, quick thumbs ups, guys. I will move to the next task. Can I get thumbs ups? I love thumbs up. Okay, Praveen, thank you. Nobody is giving me thumbs up apart from you, man. Thanks a lot. Okay, yeah. So now it's time to learn what is this. I will just press enter. So just like we have seen multiple blocks, there is a block of if and else, there is a block of this main function, there is a block of this game story function, right? So you can see blocks everywhere. So whatever inside a curly brackets, it is considered as block. And just like this thing has a block itself. This do also have a block. Okay, and just ignore about while at the moment, just focus on the do block. This entirely called as do block, and this entirely including while, this is known as do while loop. There are multiple types of loops inside programming languages. There is a for loop, there is a while loop, there is a do while loop. Okay, but we are using do while loop. Somebody is asking why we are using do while loop. I will explain the functionality of do while loop in a bit. So do while loop will perform all the things. Okay, again, do while loop will perform all the things which are mentioned inside do at least once without checking the while condition. I will repeat it again. This is a while condition. What I mean by while condition is this loop is repeating its behavior, repeating whatever is written inside do after checking this, but it will pass all the things those are written at least once without checking the condition. Okay, again, do while loop will do all the things first and then start checking the condition. What is this condition? In this case, it is similar, it is the exact same as this. If start game is S, then keep on asking the same question again and again. I will quickly show you here. Now if I am pressing S, I'm seeing again welcome to game. Okay, this happened. Then flow of execution didn't go inside else, it ended in do. Now as I have pressed S, now compiler is checking while condition. Again it is getting true. That's why again these things are getting called and saying press S to start and any other key to exit. If I am pressing capital S, again same thing will keep on happening and you might not be seeing any change. If I'm spamming S, you will not see any change inside output because loop is taking place. Okay, because this while condition is checking if start game is double equal to S or capital S, then it should keep on happening. As soon as I write something else like J, it will get terminated. It will not happen again. Okay, as simple as that. This is how while loop works. And if you see, I haven't given input of anything. Okay, at this stage I executed program for very first time, and right now there is nothing inside this variable. And even after that, our do while loop executed this thing and entire this thing at least once. So this is how do while loop works. Everybody is clear with what is do while loop? Yes, no? Or do you have any questions regarding do while loop? After this assignment, we will be directly jumping into classes. We will be directly jumping into some object oriented programming concepts, and that will be gonna mind blowing session. But yeah, like this is the basics of the programming that we have to cover. Okay, thanks a lot for confirmations, guys. So that is what exactly happening in the assignment 2. Okay, we learned about how long will this session go. This session will end at 10. I hope you have received the timetable. But yeah, this session will approximately end at 9:30 to 10. Jekyll. Okay, I hope that answered your question. But yeah, so in the assignment 2, this is what we have covered in assignment 1. And inside the assignment 2, we learned about variable. We learned about data types. There are different data types that we have to take a call on as per our need. Nobody will tell us to declare char, to use char. We have to decide as per our use case. And as our use case is getting key, we go for char. Same goes for do while loop. This is something called as exact example of a game loop. As soon as user is pressing S, the same things will keep on happening. We haven't wrote any game logic here. But yeah, that's the your task. You just write a very good welcome message on your own inside this assignment too. All good, guys, till now. So what we will do, before jumping to the next session, next assignments, which are heavily included for object oriented programming and all the stuff, we will take 2 to 3 minutes of break. We will start exactly at 8:25. Till then, if you want to fresh, or if you want to put some water over your face, surely do that. We will take exactly 5 minute break. Drink water if you need. I will also drink, and we will come back. All good? Yes, no, please give me thumbs up. After 8:25, you will be learning object oriented programming and how exactly health, critical damages, how critical damages are worked, and how damage is given, how damage is taken. Everything is, sorry. Sorry, my voice broke off. But yeah, after that we will cover how critical damages works, how damage is taken, as well as how damage is given, how classes and objects work, and all the stuff. But yeah, we will start exactly after 4 minutes. Yeah, thank you guys. Hey, hi guys. Are you guys there? Yeah, thank you. Can everybody give me confirmation? Everybody is back in the chat. Only 2 people are back, I guess. Yeah, just give me confirmation in the chat, please, guys. So I will just move to the next assignment. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for confirmations. So this will be your assignment. Just customize some messages. Just customize your welcome messages as per you want, and customize your exit messages as per you want. So we have covered some fundamental things like loops, variables, and all the stuff. Now we are good to start the object-oriented programming. So I will just keep this. I'm again going back to my Notion page. This is something called as Notion page, but yeah. So right now I am clicking the assignment 3 and I will just fork it assignment 3, and I guess you know the drill now. So just quickly do it with me, guys. I will not gonna wait it this time. So I hope everybody has cloned. If you want this link, this master link, I am just sharing it again. So this is the third assignment, and don't get worried. I have written bunch of lines of code this time, but just don't worry. We will gonna cover everything in a step-by-step manner. Before starting anything, I want to cover very important concepts in the object-oriented programming. And trust me, object-oriented programming is a skill set, is a rare skill set that is lagging in the overall entire software industry. And this is the most important skill set that you have to acquire to become a good software engineer or good software developer. So I'm sharing the whiteboard at the moment. I hope you guys can see my whiteboard. So first of all, we will look at the concept of class. Okay, class. What is class? I will tell you. Class is something which defines some group of things. What I mean by that is animal is a class, human is a class, car is a class. Just like that, in a gamified examples, enemy is a class. Why? Because there can be multiple enemies of the exact same, which look exactly same and which behaves exactly same, right? As well as that, there can be multiple types of enemies as well. But ultimately the class defines the group of the same things, group of the similar things. Again, I will give some examples of a classes as human is a class, animal is a class, fruit is a class. There can be different types of fruit inside games. Enemy can be a class, player can be a class. While playing some games, there can be multiple types of the players as well as there are tons of classes. Entire UI system can be a class. Apart from that, UI might have different things like button, text, and all the stuff. So everything in the programming is a class, and you need to understand what is class and what classes that you will be needing to complete your code architecture. I will quickly tell you what is object and what is class. Okay, there I will be covering two important things. Just be focused at the moment. I will be taking the example of the enemy class at the moment. Suppose you are having class as enemy, okay, and you might have played many games. Inside that, there are the exact same enemies. Like in level 1, there are 5 enemies. Okay, you are playing platformer game or any other game. There are same enemies which look exactly same, which look exactly similar, which have exact same weapons and do exact same things, but there are many of them, right? Inside level 1, there are 5 enemies of it. Okay, you have one class of enemy and you have 6 different enemies in level 1. So developer don't write code for all these enemies. Okay, again I will repeat. developer don't write a code for all these 6 enemies. Why? In level 1 there are 6 enemies, in level 10 there can be 100 enemies, right? Developer will die writing a code for single enemy. So what should developer do? Developer will write a code for a class. Sorry, my bad. Developer will write a code for a class of an enemy, and that will get replicated for all of the enemies. What I mean by that is, developer will write a single piece of code that is a class, and that will get replicated using objects. Okay, and this is when the object concept comes into picture. You have a class of an enemy where some things are already defined. What are those things? Attack, range, health, or difficulty of that particular enemy. Is it a small enemy? Is it a big enemy? Everything is defined in this class, and you need exact same enemies inside a single level, but you need more number of enemies. Then you will go to the objects. So what you will do, what developers do, they will create a class and they will create 6 objects. And for that, they don't need to write any single code. They can simply create as number of objects as this class once it is written. So what happened right now? They replicated their code in an efficient way. On what non like there is a huge difference between only developer and a great developer, right? Only developer will keep on writing 100 scripts for 100 codes for 100 enemies. But what smart developer will do? Smart developer will create a class that is nothing but a piece of code that will create a class of an enemy, and that developer will use that exact same code again and again for multiple enemies. This is the concept called as, I will clear all the downs. This is the concept called as class and object. Is this concept clear, guys? Most important concept. The most important concept. Is it clear, or should I explain it again with the gamified example? So, is it sounding logical to you, right? You might have played many games. Like, take an example of Candy Crush. There are many candies of a similar type. There are some special candies which will act exactly same. That doesn't mean if you have to write code for 5 special candies, you will create 5 piece of codes. You will not do that. You will write a single piece of code and you will use it again and again. It's like an inheritance, Komal. Sorry, but it's not an inheritance. I haven't touched about inheritance yet. It is a simple concept of a class and object. Inheritance comes under types of the classes. Okay, it is useful for if you want to go for some types. I will touch that. But yeah, this is definitely not an inheritance. This is simply a class and an object. And this is how you can create multiple objects of a same class which replicates a similar behavior, similar properties, similar abilities. And you can use that again and again. How you can use that, how you can create objects, we will cover in the code. But I hope class and object concept is clear. All good, right? Class and object crystal clear. Why to use class, why to use object. Why is most important? Only learning what is class, like if you Google what is class in C++, Google will tell you bullshit bookish definition of a class. That is of no use. But if you are understanding why we should use class, why we should use object, then that is the most important thing. Is it clear, guys? Why is clear? Why? In C++, case sensitive? Yes, it is case sensitive. Obviously, it is case sensitive. Praveen. Okay, but why is clear? Class and objects, everybody? Yes, no? Quickly tell me. Thank you. Only one yes. Why is clear or not? This why is most important. Many experienced programmers know about what is class and what is object, but they don't even know why to use the class and object concept, right? Okay, now comes the interesting part. So this is the concept of class and object. So again, I will take the example, same example of enemy. Okay. Inside game, you can have multiple enemies of same type. Okay. That we learned. These are called as objects. Okay. Right now, I don't want that. I want to create, I will just erase it. Now I want to create different types of enemies. What I mean by that is boss. It's nothing but enemy, but type is boss. Light enemy, that means small enemy, very easy to kill. Heavy enemy. Okay. Ranged enemy, ranged. If you have played games, you might relate with it. Ranged enemy. Ground enemies. Air enemies. Whatever. Ground, air, ranged, melee enemies. Those who only do melee damage. Those who fire damage from the range. There are tons of types of enemies you can think of. So how to implement this in object-oriented programming? The answer is inheritance. We are not covering inheritance topic today, but it's a huge topic. There are very, very important concepts. As this class is very limited, but inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, there are tons of things in the object-oriented programming that will be covered in the full stack game development program. I am trying my best to give you some glimpse of the object-oriented programming today. But yeah, to be very frank, it is impossible to cover all the concept of the object-oriented programming in only 2 hours. Okay, I hope you can understand that. So coming back to the types option. Okay, please don't get confused. This is a concept. This is where we are using same type again and again. And right now, this is the concept where we are having multiple types. How it works, I will quickly erase the drawing and I will show you. Now, in inheritance, there is something called as parent class and there is something called as child class. This is parent and these are childs. Why to use inheritance? I will shortly explain you. This is ranged enemy. Just take a very few examples. Ranged, melee enemy, and I would say ground enemies or something like that. That's fine. So why to use inheritance? So every enemy here is of different type. Every enemy will act differently. Every enemy will have different behavior as per the type. Obviously, melee enemy can't hit you from long. Melee enemy has to reach to you and then he that will attack. Ranged enemy will have some radius, like a range. From that that enemy can fire you. Ground enemies are totally different. They can dash you or something, whatever it is. What I mean by here is every enemy will have different behaviors, will have different parameters, but there will be something common among themselves. Go back to the example of class. This is a parent class, this is a child class. Go back to the example of class. I am a human, you are also human, but I might be a game developer, you might be a web developer, but there are some things which are common between you and me. I have head, I have 2 hands, I have 2 legs, I have 2 eyes, I have 1 nose. These all things are common between you and me, irrespective. You are an artist, you are a civil engineer, you are a mechanical engineer, I am a computer science engineer. Irrespective of all these things, being a human, we share some common properties. On a similar basis, being a ranged enemy, melee enemy, ground enemy, irrespective of our types, irrespective of their types, they also share some common things that we don't have to write again. It's all dependent on efficient programming, how to write your program in a smart way. What I mean by that is, I will write all the common things. I will give you one example which will be common for everybody. Okay, suppose my game supports a level to that enemy which defines difficulty. Okay, so if level is 1, then that enemy is weak. If that level is 10, the enemy is hard. Okay, my game supports the leveling of the enemies. So I will share you one uh, common parameter that has to be there in every enemy, and one common factor is level. Now you tell me what are different common factors are there. If you have understood everything, what will be some common things which will be present in every enemy? Can anybody tell me? There are tons of things I can tell. Just think in a gamified way and interact. But yeah, like before that, is this concept clear? What I am trying to say and what I am trying to ask, is it clear? Yes, no? Or should I repeat the question? Guys, are you there? Health will be common for Daniel. You are spot on. 10 on 10 points. Health, 100% correct. What is moment of enemy can be common factor, right? Yes. Repeat in short. Okay. Food. Exactly. And everything. Like again, I gave you a tricky question. They will attack. Exactly. This is a common thing. There will be some damage. Okay. The damage variable will be common. Values can be different that you can anyways modify here, but the variable is common, right? What is attack? That is nothing but a damage. That is nothing but an integer that we will gonna see. But yeah, you are right. I will repeat in short. I gave you the example of a human. I am human, you are human. We also belong to a parent class of human, but child classes as civil engineer, mechanical engineer, a computer science engineer, game developer, software developer, web developer. These are the child classes. But even after that, we share some common things like all of us have two eyes, one head, two hands. So we don't need to write again and again the functionalities of these things. Coming back to the enemies example, though they are ranged, melee, and ground enemies, there are some things which are common for every enemy that we will write inside a parent class, and we will write a specific logic inside a child class which will define the ranged enemy. We will write a specific logic to define the melee attack inside a melee enemy, inside that melee child class. I hope this entire discussion made sense. Is it clear, Jagal? I hope it is clear now. If it is not, I will repeat. And everybody else, is it clear? Why classes? What is inheritance? So inheritance is nothing but these child classes inherit. Okay, as the name suggests. What is inheritance? The child classes inherit some properties of a parent classes by default. By default, okay? You don't have to do anything. If you are using inheritance inside your code architecture, the melee child class or ground child class will inherit some properties like health, attack automatically. Exactly same values as parent class, but again, you have flexibility to change those values inside a child classes as well. But by default, it will take the exact same things from a parent class. And a smart developer will do some additional modifications inside child classes to build the, what I can say, different types of enemies as we discussed. Melee enemy will have entirely different behavior. Ranged enemy will have different behavior. So obviously those things you will not write inside a parent class. You will write only things in a parent class which are common. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Child class, parent class, inheritance concept, very, very important concept. And this is how games are made. Trust me. If you are playing any RPG, if you are saying bunch of types of enemies, this is how the code works inside. But yeah, all clear till now? Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Excited about it, how the code works. I'm just clearing the doubt, clearing the screen. All good. 3 to 4 yeses. I hope everybody else is clear with the concept, because this is the most important concept in the object oriented programming, inheritance. Again, like if you Google what is inheritance, Google will tell you kick-ass definition that can help you in writing some exam that will give you marks. But trust me, like I'm really hate. I'm a big hater of Google definitions, especially of such concepts. Like, I saw many developers who know what is inheritance, what is class, what is object, but they don't know where to implement it and why to implement it. Then what is the use, right? We are not here, like, we are not just learning things for the sake of exams, right? We are gonna actually build our projects soon. But yeah, coming back to the topic, I will not deviate this topic a lot. But yeah, like, I hope everybody is enjoying. I will share some interesting thing with you, and I just hope you will love that thing as well. I'm coming back to the third assignment, but I'm just coming back to my document, the link that I have shared. So in the between of the class itself, because till and many people dropped off, I need to cover very important details about assignment submission. So task 1, anyways, we will gonna see assignment 3 and assignment 4 in the next half of the session. But task 2 is something called as assignment submission, and this is what you will be doing. Again, listen carefully. The deadline is tomorrow at 6 p.m. So don't rush. You can watch this entire recording again and you can do the task. So 21st will be the deadline, and this is how you will be submitting. You will be creating LinkedIn post. You might ask, hey Malar, what is this LinkedIn? What is this all, and why we should do it? The simple answer is LinkedIn is a proven strategy to crack into any industry. Below this, you will see why LinkedIn question mark and the bright side of LinkedIn networking. If you click here, you will see works of our students. You will see what exactly happens in full stack game development program. If you are really interested to build your career in game development, we heavily use Unity game engine. This is our ex-student who right now got placed in Jet Synthesis, but still, like, why he got placed? Just click on this post. He, just like this post, he's continuously posting on LinkedIn, guys, continuously with GitHub and all the stuff. If you don't know what is GitHub, GitHub is simply the container of your all projects, okay, where you can write code, where you can submit your code, as simple as that. But yeah, like, Rahul Pawar was continuously pushing his update, and here you can see he has got a tremendous reach to his post, and this reach is not similar to your Instagram and Facebook reach, okay? This is a professional reach. What I mean by professional reach is his network is game developers, right? And 117 reactions and bunch of comments and bunch of professional comments on his post, on his work. If you look at the video, you can see he has built the infinite runner. Right now you can see how the environment is moving with the game. So he coded himself, and trust me, this project is not included in Outscal program, but Outscal program will help you to build a thinking ability to develop such kind of projects. We only cover 2 projects, but if you see here, there are tons of projects which are created by the students, like Snake. This is not traditional Snake, this is a co-op Snake. You can check out this video as well. You just need to click on these links, then you can see the videos of the students. So there are 2 snakes, like, this is something called as cooperative, like 2 players can play this game. Then comes Battle Tank, then comes Classroom Rush, and just like we are developing this text-based game, our students, we call them as outscalers, has created text-based game in a co-op way again, where you have the ability to select 3 types of player. The concepts that we discussed, 3 types of enemies, just like that, we have created inheritance in 3 types of player. Every player will have health and all the parameters, but the updated values. A strong player, a weak player, a medium player, something like that, right? And they can tweak those values very efficiently, very flexibly. So a player can attack the other player or heal himself. Again, then the turn of the next player will come, and again that player will attack and all this stuff. This is how the battle keeps going. Right now we are coding only single player battle in this workshop. Means I am giving damage or healing myself, and enemy is only coded in a CPU manner. But that game will take inputs from both of the user. So that's some interesting project, and this is a pretty heavy advanced stuff project of the object oriented programming. You can check out that as well. So that's the cool stuff that I wanted to showcase with you if you are really interested and enthusiastic about game projects and game programs. But yeah, like inside the assignment submission, you will find a section of why LinkedIn, and that's the answer of why LinkedIn inside this page. I have added this again in the registration process as well. I hope, okay, I guess I added that. Yeah, here, yeah, inside this, inside our task one as well. Some glimpse of Outscaler's work in the game development. So you can access the same page from task one as well as task two. All good. Like I just explained some of the things what we do, what our students do in the full stack game development program. Understood everything? Yes, no, all good, good to go. Excited after seeing the work, heavy game development work. Yeah, like just check out their projects. Feel free to comment. If you don't know what LinkedIn is basically professional Instagram. Just call it as a professional Instagram, where you keep on posting your updates regarding your work, and majority of the industry professional uses LinkedIn. And trust me, you will get job offers in your inbox. Trust me, if you really build a network in a proper manner, if you keep on posting updates about your projects regularly, recruiters will come to you, companies will come to you. You don't have to chase the companies, but for that you need to work hard. You need to showcase your skills to the world. Okay, LinkedIn clear. Like LinkedIn is very important. We heavily focuses on LinkedIn networking as well to get job and placements. Okay, all good. Can we move ahead? Yes, no? Excited? I am not seeing excitement. I am surprised. Like majority of the previous masterclass students got excited after seeing tons of projects. I hope everybody is excited as well here. Yeah, great. So let's come back to our assignment. Okay, so we learned about class. We learned about types of how to implement different types of the same class. That comes under the inheritance concept. How to reuse the class objects. We learned about objects in the whiteboard. Right now I will quickly show you how class look like. Class is nothing but a piece of code. Okay, so if you look at here, like if you click on the minus sign, this will get collapsed. Just like function, just like do while loop, this class will also have a block. But there is a small difference inside a class is C++ class ends with semicolon. If you are a Java developer or a C# developer, this is not the case, but every C++ class ends with a semicolon. This is just a block where you write some things and you will create the objects of that same class. In this case, I have used class as a keyword and then named my class as a player. This is how you will create your own class. Simply class, then comes class name, opening brackets and curly brackets. As simple as that. I am now expanding the huge class and I am going detailed what is member functions and member variables. But yeah, how to write a class, is it clear, guys? Quick responses of yeses and nos, please. How to write a class? Yes, understood. Yes, no. Okay, only. Okay, yeah. So now see what is written inside the class. Okay, don't get worried after seeing tons of lines. This is something called as private and this is something called as public. I will come back to it later. Trust me, I have explained everything. Whatever I said, I will come back to it later. Then comes int. Int health is equal to 100. You know what is variable. So now it's a developer's responsibility to create these variables as per the design need. What I mean by design need is game development is considered as one of the hardest software development because it has to go hand in hand with a design. What is design? Designer know, okay, in my game, there will be XP, there will be level. But that developer should write a code for that, right? Designer will not come here and write a code. Designer will only say you, okay, there will be some counter of XP, there will be some counter of level. Now figure it out how you will implement. So now game developer has to take these decisions and to create these variables. Who will tell? Obviously, game design and thinking process of the game developer will tell these variables are needed. If you look at these, like after reading the names, it is very clear health is an integer. And that's why we are using int as a data type. XP, again, it's a counter. Counter means it's an integer. We are using int and all the stuff. I haven't touched upon the different data types like strings and name. Like suppose we have dedicated name for our player, then we will use string as a data type. Malhar is a string, and char is some letter, m is a letter, something like that. There are tons of data types, but right now we are only focusing mainly on integers to understand damages. Okay, we are going to learn how to deal damage and how to take damage. But these variables concept clear, why to write it, how to write it, what is the use case. Like it's a pretty clear that health very useful variable in any game, right? Is it clear, guys, this concept, how you will write these functions, how you will write these variables inside classes? Okay, so these variables, whatever variables you are writing inside a class, okay, whatever variables you are writing inside a class are called as member variables. Okay, member variables. Because you are writing them inside class, what that means is these variables are of these players. Like this variables are represent the properties of this class, which is player. That is meant by member variable. Then comes member function. This is like I will ask you one thing. Just read this. Generate random additional damage. That is the name of this function. Just observe this function. Okay, this function. Okay, observe this function and tell me inside the chat what this function is doing. I'm waiting. Good question, Praveen. I will come back to that question later. But right now, my question to everybody is, read the name of this function, observe this function, whatever I have written here, and try to guess what this function might be doing. And tell me in the chat. Okay, Akash, 5 out of 10. Omkar gives random additional damage from 5 to 15. 10 out of 10, Omkar. Okay, Akash 5 out of 10, Omkar 10 out of 10. Omkar gave precise answer after reading this variable name as well. Additional damage min. Min stands for minimum and max stands for maximum. So here in this small function, I'm defining a range of additional damage. Okay. So coming back to the question of the Praveen, if you observe it, like I should haven't give the damage value of 0 here as well. It should have additional damage 0. Anyways, I'm assigning it. Even if I erase it, that should be fine. The simple answer is additional damage and healing capacity are not a fixed amount like attack damage. I have defined attack damage is equal to 20 in the start, and that will be gonna fixed for the entire game. But additional damage and healing capacity that I will calculate as per randomization. We have initialized values to the variables under the function. After that, calculated the additional damage. Komal, yes, we will calculate these things. We will call these functions. I will tell you where we will call it. No worries. But yeah, we need to call these functions to generate the additional damage, and which will get added to our base damage. This is something called as base damage. But yeah, like coming back to my point and my question, that Omkar answered correctly. This function is generating a random damage between the range of 5 to 15. I can make it anything. Okay, 25, 15 to 25. Now my additional generation will work for 15 and 25 as well. This is something called as code flexibility. I can easily change this value. Suppose tomorrow designer comes and told to me, hey Mallar, just change it to 5 and 25. And if your program don't support that, then you are not a good programmer. Your program should support the flexibility of a game design as well. So is this function okay? How it is generating? This is just a simple Google formula. And I told you C# provide helper functionalities to generate some things, generate some numbers inside a proper range. But for C++, you have to write it on your own. So this is just a simple formula. Additional damage I'm calculating and I'm filling that additional damage. Consider this variable as a container. Right now, this container is empty. In this function, I am filling that container. This is something called as assignment operator. This is equal to is act as an assignment operator inside programming. Whatever is the result of the RHS, that is the right hand side, will get assigned. I will just zoom out. So whatever is this result of this right hand side will get filled inside the damage, additional damage. And how this formula is working, it's a little bit advanced thing. We are using rand. This is a random function of the C++. We are also using srand, that is taking time as an input. But yeah, don't worry about these terms at the moment. These are pretty much advanced, but you should able to understand what this function is doing, and that you did after reading the name. That is again comes into the readability of the code. Even if a non-programmer, if read this function name and read these two lines, he or she can guess, okay, this function might be generating some random damage within a range of minimum 5 to the maximum 15. That's comes under code readability. I hope this function is clear. This is just a formula. You just need to write max minus min plus 1 plus min. This is proper formula. You can Google it. How it is working, why it is working, don't worry too much about it. But this is a standard formula. If you Google it, Google will give you the first thing, this thing. Okay. All clear how to generate random additional damage? Yes, no. I will tell you where it is used. This is the most interesting part. You will learn how the games are made now. Okay. Only two, yes. I hope everyone is following till now. Okay. Great. I hope everybody is enjoying till now. So now we learned how to generate a random damage. Okay. This is how you will generate a random damage. So has anybody played a game which includes critical hit? Yes, no. Critical hits. Have you played any games which includes critical hit? Yeah, right. Best example is Shadow Fight, the mobile game. The damage is not constant. The damage, yeah, exactly. Shadow Fight. Damage is not constant, and you can apply it anywhere. RPG, majority of the RPG, also enemies damages are not constant. Sometimes that an enemy also give you a critical hit. What is critical hit? Mortal Kombat. That's also a great example. What is critical hit? If this random generation generates the additional damage of 15, that is nothing but a critical hit, right? Or if you consider, even if it is generating 12 damage, that is nothing but a huge damage. 12, 13, 14, 15, all these numbers are nothing but comes under a critical damage. And exactly this is how the critical functionalities are made. Simple implementation of critical functionality is if I write here as if additional damage, okay, oops, additional damage is greater than or equal to 13, then it's a critical hit. Easy, right? So I have calculated random value between 5 and 15. I have stored that value inside additional damage. Right now, this additional damage, remember, consider variables as a containers of a data. Now this additional damage have some value which ranges from 5 to 15. Now I am writing my logic for a critical hit. If this critical damage, sorry, if this additional damage is greater than or equal to 13, which is very near to my maximum limit, right? If that is the case, then I will write a logic. I will show some critical UI, critical hit UI, show something like that. Whatever I want to do, I can do inside this block. And this is how critical hits are implemented. Happy you learned how the games made critical hits and all that functionality, how the damage is getting generated randomly and all the stuff. Following till now, guys, till this point, I hope you are enjoying it, because once I learned these things, I was very excited and I was very thrilled, because this is the end of our curiosity. This is how exactly games are made. I know I'm not showing you the fancy graphics output here, but I am here to tell you the logical way behind the scenes what is happening inside games. Okay, I totally know I'm not showing the Mortal Kombat's level of graphics, but I can bet you this is the exact same kind of code is written in the Mortal Kombat game. Okay, that I can guarantee you that. Okay, this is interesting. That's great. So this is a functionality. Again, this is a member function. Whatever function that you are writing, I will just erase it for now. I just explained the concept of critical damage. But yeah, these are the variables which we write under a class. These are the functions that we write under a class. Variables are called as member variables. Functions are called member functions because we are writing those functions and variables inside a class. Again, it's a fundamental thing. After that, display player info. After reading it, instantly you are getting at, okay, this function is responsible for displaying some information about my player. And that is what exactly happening. I will come back to who is calling it, from where we are calling these functions. Just be patient. Right now, I am coming to the very important concept. Can we see this outcome in a practical game or a very basic game also? Obviously, like, this is nothing but a outcome. I will show you. If you have observed in the initial, at the start of this workshop, I have played the entire game. The randomized damage were getting generated. As per that, health is getting reduced. As per that, the enemy is getting attacked. This is nothing but an entire small prototype of an actual working game. At the end of 4 assignments, you will see the output. But yeah, like if you are saying that, okay, I want to properly see the graphical output, then you have to go back to the game engines. That is Unity, Unreal, Cos, CryEngine. There are multiple engines. But yeah, for the actual build or EXE, proper game kind of feel, you have to build those games inside a proper game engine. Okay, I hope that I answered that question. But yeah, now I am touching the very important point. Again, public and private, I will gonna touch those later. I am gonna discuss very important function called as constructor. Okay, I will type it in the chat. Constructor. This is constructor. There are 3 things which defines constructor. Okay, I will write in the comments. First thing is exact same name as class. Second thing is no return type. Don't worry about what is return type. I am gonna explain a lot about it later in the fourth assignment. And there is, what is third point? Shit. Exact name. It is public. It has to be public. So these 3 conditions define a constructor. What I mean by constructor is whatever I am writing below this public, okay, again, whatever I'm writing below this line of public, everything is public here. This all the functions, like all the functions still here, heal is nothing but a function, heal and all the stuff, take damage, give damage, we will gonna cover those concepts soon. Get health, all these functionalities are public. Don't worry what is public and all, I will come back to that point. But just understand, you have to write a constructor under a public. That means constructor has to be public, okay. Constructor don't have any return type. If you see, every function have return type. This is something called as return type, okay. Return, see here, return type. It can be int, it can be void, it can be char, it can be of any data type. That is called as return type. But if you observe here, constructor don't have a return type. And the very most important thing about constructor is exact same name as class. If you look at our class name, that's the exact same name of constructor. So what is constructor? Constructor is a special function inside a class which gets called constructor gets called once object is created. Object of that class, of the class is created. So fourth line is, this function will get called automatically by the C++ whenever you are creating object of this player class. How to create object, I will gonna cover that. But first understand this function will get called, you know what is calling of function. Our flow of execution will directly start from line number 53 as soon as we create the function of this player class inside main. This is what I mean here. So constructor is same, constructor name should be same as class name. It should not have any return type. It must be public, and constructor gets called after the object creation. All these concepts are clear about the constructor? Yes, no? What is the use of constructor? I will tell you. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, 2 yes only, not many yeses. Okay. Okay, now you understood the theoretical and practical fundamental definition of the constructor that you can find on Google as well. But now again, I always hunt for the use cases. What is the use case? I will quickly show you how to create an object. Coming back to my main function. So, you know, game story, we called game story and all this got printed. Then, you know, character, do while loop, inside do while loop, we wrote tons of lines. But now we are creating object of a player, like observe this line only, okay? As soon as player is typing S, now come back to the main execution, okay? Just forget about the class. Right now we are learning how to create object of a class. So this is the main flow of execution started here, and we asked blah blah blah. When user is pressing S, then we are clearing the screen, and then we are creating object of that player. This is how we should create an object of any class. Right now my name of the class is player, so I am just typing the exact same name of the class. And right now this is a object name, okay? Class name and object name. This is how this syntax is written, as simple as that. This is class name, this is object name. Okay, yeah. Again, this is class name, this is object name. Object name can be anything, okay? Object name can be player 1 2 3 4 5 6. Oops, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5 6. It can be anything, literally anything. But it is again not a good readability practice, right? Player's object should have relevance towards the naming. So I am just typing the object name as player only. So this is a class name. This has to be exactly same as my class name. If I'm writing 1 2 3 here, compiler is shouting at me, hey Mallar, what the fuck have you written? Known type name, unknown type, like player 1 2. I don't know anything about what is player 1 2. But as soon as I wrote exactly same thing as my class name as player, compiler is fine with it. But yeah, like main important point is you have to write the exact same name as a class name, and object name can be user defined, can be anything. How to create object? Is it clear? Yes, no? Quick thumbs ups, quick yeses, whatever is fine with me for moving to the next concept. Okay, awesome. Now we created object. So this is how we created object, and as soon as this line hit, okay, 137 line hit, our flow of execution again will start from this. Okay, I will show you how. Now observe, inside this player function, I am calling the another function as display player info. So what should be the expected output? Whenever I am creating an object, first of all, this constructor will get called. Inside that constructor, there is another function which name is display player info, and again my control flow of execution will go to this function, to the line number 30, and all these lines will get executed. Then again my flow of control will come to the player and will execute these lines, these lines 54, 55. But as I haven't wrote anything here, this will get end of my constructor, and again my flow of execution will come to the line number 140 and all these things line. Okay, this is what will happen. This is what is expected of our program. Is this clear how the flow of execution is working? After hitting this line, we are going to the constructor, then constructor is calling another function, and at the end we are coming back from where we started. Okay, is this clear? This is very important concept in programming. Once you understood this now, overall your programming fundamentals are clear. All good, guys, till now? Or should I repeat? Yes, only one yes. Come on, guys. Just yeah, be clear. If can you please repeat? Okay. Praveen, flow of execution can be tricky. It is not as simple. It is not like you will get everything, but I will repeat it again. This is what is called as object creation. As we know, whenever we create object, our constructor will get called by default using the C++. And this is what exactly happened. As soon we created the object, the flow of execution started from execution of the player function, that is constructor. Inside that constructor, there is another function called as display player info. So again, our flow of execution started from here. So all these lines got executed. And after that, again, flow of execution came here and checked, okay, is there any lines? There are no lines. So our constructor execution is finished. So once our constructor execution is finished, our actual flow of execution will always come to the main function, right? So after this line, our flow of execution will again come to 140, 141, and all these lines will get executed, and all the things will happen again as per the while loop, if that is the case. I hope this is clear. Praveen Singh, is it clear? Thank you. Thanks a lot, Praveen. Yeah, it is slightly tricky. Like once you get the hang of how control is jumping from up and down, you will able to understand it. No worries. Don't worry too much. Okay. Okay. All good. So now I will quickly show you the output. So this is the game story. I will zoom out a bit. This is the game story. Now I'm pressing S. So expected output is object will get created, a constructor will get called, and inside that constructor there is a special function which is displaying the player information. That's what that's what you will see after pressing S. Here you will see the player information. Hi, my name is Litho, blah blah blah. Litho's health, XP, level, attack damage, additional damage, healing capacity, everything is discussed. Everything is displayed, sorry. But yeah, if I keep on pressing S, the same thing will keep on happening because I haven't done anything. I just created a simple player object, and this is how flow of execution working. Again, it is checking while. If while condition is true, again same things are keep on happening. If I press J or something else, then thank you for playing Litho, the game will exit. Okay, constructor, object creation, everything clear till now. I will quickly touch on the private and public things at the moment. Yes, guys, yes, no, quick yeses, quick nodes if not understood. Okay, great. So this is how you will create object. Suppose you want, again, come back to that example. If first, like, consider the example of enemy, and inside level 1 you have 10 enemies, 12 enemies, then you can go for arrays. I don't want to touch the data structure specifically. Data structure is little bit advanced topic, but yeah, like simply you can write something like, I don't know what's the syntax, I hope I am correct here. Yeah, so by this way you can create 10 players. Okay, but yeah, don't worry much about it. Array is little bit out of scope. Not only a little bit, it's a huge thing. Arrays require a 2-hour session to cover. Okay, but yeah, simply coming back to it, this is how you will create single object, and inside programming you can create multiple objects as well if you want to use that. That's what I want to cover. So we created player, guys. Now let's make use of this player to access some functionalities inside a player class. What I mean by that is, this is a main block. Okay, main block, this is the block of main. So inside main you can't directly access the functionalities of a player, but you can access those functionalities using the object of that player. How? I will show you. Player dot heal. Sorry for typos. So this is the functionality that I have written inside the player class. I will quickly explain what this line will do. So first of all, I created the object. Then using that object, I am calling this function. How? I will quickly show you. This is the healing function which is present inside a player. And right now, if you observe, this is written under a public. So this is where the concept comes of public and private. What is public? Public is something which is accessible outside this player class as well. I accessed this healing functionality outside the player class, right? Because main is outside the player class. But if I want to access, generate random additional damage, display player info outside the player class that is inside main, the compiler will not allow me to do that. I will quickly show you additional damage. If I'm writing this, compiler is giving me the error, additional damage is a private member of a player, you can't access it. But as soon as I change it with anything, give damage or take damage, I won't cover it right now, but heal, whatever it is, or like get health, whatever you want to call, like you can access it. So this is the difference between public functions and private functions. Then you will ask, hey Mallar, what is bad declaring everything public? What is bad in it? That's a really bad practice. You might feel that, okay, giving access of everything to everywhere is a good thing, but it is not, especially if you are doing a professional game development, especially professional software development. Why is so? Suppose you are accessing health, suppose you are accessing damage everywhere, right? And suppose tomorrow there is a bug inside a health or inside a damage, then you have to check on those thousands of places where you have accessed that variable, where you have modified that variable, and it's a nightmare for a developer to do that. So that's why it is most important thing to make public only those things those you want to access, and keeping some private things to keep our code bug free and easy to debug is very important. And that's where the concept comes under the private and a public. That is why we should use private and public access modifiers. Private, public, is it clear? Why it is not, why not to make everything public? Is it clear? Very important concepts, guys. Very important. Like why should be clear. Again, I am emphasizing on why. Okay, Jagal, is private and public is clear, or should I repeat that, or you want why we should use private and public? I should repeat that. Exactly, tell me what should I repeat, please? Like, do you understand what is private and public? Public, private. Okay. Public and private are nothing but access modifiers. Okay. You can access public functions outside a main class, but you can't access private functions outside a player class. Okay. So I will tell you, heal is a public function. Whatever you are writing below this public, this is the public, right? I have written it, I have marked it public. Whatever functions I am writing below it are are public, and these functions are accessible outside the class. That means inside main. So I am accessing heal functionality, which is public function inside my player class. But if I am trying to access additional damage, then I can't access it. The error will come. Additional damage is a private member of a player. That is the only concept of private and public. As the name suggests, it is private because you can't access it. As it is a public, you can't access it publicly. Now, is it clear? Yeah. Any other doubts regarding this concept? Why is clear? Why everything should not be a public? Yes, no? Guys, come on. Okay. Great, I'm just erasing it. Now, this task, I am not going to do this task. Okay. Obviously, you learned many things at the moment. Now, this will be your task. I did half task, that is create object of a player class. Now, create enemy class just like a player will be your task. You can take a reference of this entire class of player. You can create constructor, you can create different functions like this, and you can write your own class like class enemy. Okay. With the end of semicolon, you can add some private variables like int health, int base damage, and whatnot, and everything. So take the reference of the syntax if you need from the, what I can say, player class, but writing this entire enemy class on your own with the help of player class will be your task. I'm pretty much confident you can simply write it, because now you know what is private, what is public, what is this function, and why we should create these variables, how that decision should made, or everything is clear. Why these functionalities? Because I want these functionalities to be in my class. My player will be taking damage as well as my player will be giving damage. I am gonna cover very important things, how these two functions are working after this. But yeah, once you understand this, I am 100% sure you will write your entire enemy class on your own. So task 3 is clear, like assignment 3 is clear, and then creating object of an enemy class will not be a challenge. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no? Okay. So that will be the end of assignment 3. Now I am coming back to very important concept as a function parameters, function return types. Once you understand this, you will do any assignment that is mentioned in this class. And I hope majority of the programmers might be knowing it. But yeah, it is somewhat useful concept. Can you see my whiteboard? Yes, no, guys? Just give me 1 second. I'm drinking water. So now we will understand how taking damage and giving damage works in games. Okay, and now you will tell me how the health and healing how the healing functionality will work. Okay, so take the example of player class. So you understand what is player class. That's nothing but a piece of code. So we have player class, you have written enemy class. I am assuming that. Okay. So inside player class, this scenario is only explaining player is giving damage to enemy. This is what we will learn now. Player is giving damage to enemy, how it is working inside games. So I will quickly tell you. I want to give damage. Int give. Just focus. I'm gonna repeat once my code is done. 20. I'm just using the hard coded number at the moment. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So my player wants to give damage to enemy, and this is what I have written. I will just use the marker. Yeah. So this is int. This is something called as return type. Okay, return type. This is nothing but a data type. What this means is this function's responsibility is to return an integer data. As simple as that. This return type defines that the responsibility of this function, okay, this function is to return a data of an integer. If you are returning C or like any key or any letter or any string, compiler will not allow that, because you are saying the return type of this function is to return integer. Then you have to return integer itself. You can see I have wrote 20 here. So as simple as that, this function will return 20, and inside enemy there will be a function of taking damage. I will tell you how it will take damage. Don't worry about the logic, I will explain. Okay, so I have take damage functionality and I have give damage functionality. I will just erase it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, cool. So player at the moment is giving the damage of 20. This functionality is giving the damage of 20, and this functionality okay, this is acting weird. Yeah, this functionality is taking the damage. What is the difference? Main difference here is this is something called as return type that we already have spoken about. The responsibility of this function is to return 20, and responsibility of this function is to take 20. This is something called as parameter. Okay, this is something called as parameter. This is something called as return type. Whenever you want to give something, you should be using return type. Whenever you want to take something, you should be using parameter. If you observe parameter, you have to provide a name, a certain name to this parameter. In this case, it's a damage. And I am using this exact variable name to reduce my health. What this line is doing, suppose my current health is 100. It is just assigning, this is assignment operator, I told you, right? This is assignment operator. This is assigning my health with a updated health of 100 minus 20. So this line will assign new value of the health as 80 after doing this calculation. My bad, I just wrote there 200, but yeah, you got my point here. Sorry, but yeah, just forget about it. Yeah, this is 20. Health is equal to health minus damage. This line is reducing health by 20 and assigning that health into a variable of health. And this is how damage system works. Well, when the take damage function will get called, who will call it, how will call it, who will call give damage functions, all the things will get cleared afterwards. But first understand what is return type and what is parameter. Parameter has to have a name, and using that name you will perform some logical operations and you will reduce the health. As simple as that. Is give damage and take damage functions, and is return type and parameter clear, everybody? Yes, no? This is how exact damage functionality is working inside games. Now you will tell me, I will again clear it out, some things. Now I have a take damage function, okay, which is getting a parameter, okay, parameter as damage. Whoever is calling this function will have to pass this data to it, okay. How? I will show you. Now this line is updating my health. Health is equal to health minus damage, okay. So now can anybody tell me what will be my death condition? Simple. In this take damage, I'm reducing my health. It is clear to you that, right? So what will be my health condition? What will be my death condition? Can anybody tell me in the chat? Death condition. Zero health. Okay. How should I write it in the program? Only zero or less than zero? Jaggle. Correct your logic. If your health is 5 and if you are taking the damage of 20, then your health will be minus 15. So that will be also death, right? So what will be the condition? What will be the logic? Come on. Exactly, Dipanjay. Exactly, you are right. So I will simply write a logic as health. If health is less than or equal to 0 after taking a damage, okay? Right now, if you see, this line is responsible for taking a damage. This line is a logic for taking damage. This is just a parameter which is helping us to take a damage. This is just a data which is coming from somebody else, and we are using that data to reduce our health. That's the most important thing that function is doing at the moment. And our health has updated. And after this line is getting executed, we are writing below that only, if our health is less than or equal to 0, dead. Death. Do something with the death and all the stuff. Okay. Like you can write your death logic. Suppose you want to show some effects and all the stuff, you can write the logic here. So this is how death conditions are added. If you are seeing some UI, especially after death, this is what the code is written inside the game. Understood this? Take damage and give damage, guys. This is the very important thing. Now I will show you how this will work. Yes, no? Okay. So take damage function, I hope it is clear. Take damage is taking parameter. Okay. This is something called as parameter. I bet once I show your code, once I show you a code, how it is working, it will be clear. But yeah, just consider that somebody is calling this function and passing a data. And right now this somebody is player. Player is passing the 20 data here. Like suppose 20 damage is given here. Right now, this line will get first calculated. That is health is equal to health minus damage. This health is 100 initially, and this damage is 20. So first this operation will get performed. That is 100 minus 20. The result is 80. That result 80 will get stored inside health, and that's it. That is how logic works for taking damage. And after that, we are just writing additional condition to check for a death. If health is less than or equal to 0, then that results in a death. Because you just can't simply write double equal to 0, because there can be some cases where your health can be in negative. Now is it clear, Komal? or everybody else? 100% clear? No single doubt? Come on, yes, no. Only 2 to 3 yeses are there. Come on, guys. Everybody else, is it clear? Only 2 yes are there. I hope everybody is awake. Hello. Can anybody give me confirmation? Okay. Yeah, 2 confirmations from Omkar and Arjun. But yeah, still we have audience of 14, but very few people are active. But yeah, I hope everything is clear until this point. Yeah, thank you. So now we will see how to use these functions in our code. Okay. So you understood what is return type. Whenever you want to give something, you have to use return. Whenever you want to take something, you have to use parameter. How will the damage var will get return value from? Dipanjan, I am about to explain that inside code. Okay. So everything will get clear. How damage will get reflected inside this. Okay. So third assignment is over, right? So I will again share the screen. Sorry for that. So third assignment is clear, all the stuff. Now we are looking to the fourth assignment, and the answer to your questions will be inside the fourth assignment. So I'm quickly forking it. Okay. So very interesting fact is the solution for the third assignment is already present in the problem statement of the fourth assignment. Okay. So I will repeat again. Solution of the third assignment is already present inside the solution of the in the problem statement of the fourth assignment. So here you can see entire enemy class is written for you, but please here, sorry, entire enemy classes with you, take damage, give damage, enemy, constructor, and get health. All the things are already there. But please do write your own class of the enemy. Don't refer it directly. If you are stuck, you can refer it, no issues. But yeah, please do follow the proper assignment flow. Now coming back, this is something called as battle loop. This is a function that I have created in just the entire program. I haven't wrote this function inside any specific class because this is helpful for both of the enemy as well as player. So again, if you know the parameter, this function is taking two parameters, and inside here the parameters are nothing but the objects of the player and enemy. So how I am calling this function, I will quickly tell you. So once player presses S, player, we are creating object of player, we are creating object of enemy, and then we are passing these two objects inside the battle loop. This is again a game loop, and if you check the while condition of this do while loop, you can get something after reading this. Now read it. I am just zooming in. So this is a do while loop. You know what is do while loop. So inside this battle loop, I have written a while condition as something like this. Now observe this condition and tell me what exactly this condition is doing. Can anybody guess what this condition is doing? Hello, are you guys thinking? Increasing health? No, condition can't do anything, right? Condition can only check. Increasing health is a functionality. Condition to check whether game continue or not. You are right, but try to read this, right? Just try to read this, what you are getting, what exactly this condition is doing. Both health is 0. No, just check it. Oops, greater than 0, right? This is greater than 0, and this is double and. This stands for and, just like or stands for This 2 bar stands for or, this stands for and. Now I have given you hint. Now just think what this condition is doing. If player and enemy's health is remain, then it's going to run the next condition. Koman, you are slightly right, but again, this is a do while loop. Now tell me what exactly this condition is saying and what exactly will be the condition to execute the next iteration. Precise answer. If both player and enemy has positive health, then loop back again. Exactly, Dipanjan. Exactly, this is what exactly this line is doing. Player dot get health will give the value of the health. Get health has, if you see, get health function has the return type of int. Now we learned about return types, right? This is what is returning health. Health is an integer. That's why compiler will accept it as a return type. And we are calling this function inside this condition itself, player.getHealth. So after this, we will have some value of a player health. If that is greater than 0, double and, okay, double and, that means and. Inside programming, it's and. Just like double vertical bars are or, this double and percent is called as and. Enemy.getHealth is greater than 0. That means both player as well as enemy are alive, and that means you should be continue to the battle loop. Obviously it will make sense to you. You are fighting with boss, okay, you are having boss fight. The game loop, that cutscene or whatever will break either if you die or either enemy will die. It will break only after that only, right? There is no point continuing the same loop if any of this is dead, like any of the enemy is dead or any of the player is dead, right? Am I making sense why this condition is important in a battle loop? If any of one of them is dead, there is no point battling. If player is dead, then there is no point continuing the battle. If enemy is dead, there is no point continuing the battle. That's why we are using double and. Both has to be alive to do the battle. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no? Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yes, with fire. That's great. Yes. Any doubts about this only while condition? We are only focusing on while condition. How game loops are made. Komal, you said yes. Now you are saying no. I'm not sure. What is the issue? Can you tell? Okay. Anybody else having any issues? Hello. There is no doubt. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So this is how battle loop will work. Again, this comes for a player choice. Character is taken. If player's choice is A, we will perform attack. Okay. If player choice is H, we will perform heal. Now I will tell you how to attack an enemy. You learned what is return type. You learned what is parameter. I will do exact same thing for writing a logic for delivering a damage to enemy. Now remember one thing. I have these two as parameters. So I have the access to this object. That means I have access to all the player class using this object, as well as I have access to the enemy class using this object, because I have taken these two variables as a parameters. I hope you are following this concept. Now I will use this object of a player to deliver the damage to the enemy. Now what is happening here? You are saying player choice. If player choice is A, that means player wants to attack. Why? press A to attack Hollow Knight or H to heal yourself. I am writing this as an instruction. So whenever player presses A or capital A, then we should attack enemy. How? I will quickly show you. Player, okay, enemy is taking damage at the moment, first of all. So enemy dot take damage. Okay, so if you only write this, compiler will say too few arguments to function call. Arguments are alternative words of a parameter. Compiler is simply saying inside an enemy class, if you look at the take damage definition, this is the enemy class. Okay, this is the enemy class. Inside that there are a bunch of methods, functions. So, oops, sorry. Yeah, inside enemy class, there is a function named as take damage. And inside that, I have mentioned there will be a parameter. There will be one parameter, and I am doing the exact same thing that I explained in a whiteboard. If health is greater than 0, that means game is still on, Hollow Knight is on. Else, our warrior finally won the battle. Means Hollow Knight died. So exactly this is I'm doing. So first of all, this is a parameter, and compiler is saying that, okay, you defined a parameter and you are not passing anything inside these brackets. That is what compiler is saying at the moment. So I need to give integer here. How I will give integer? Player dot give damage. Now it will all make sense how the things are working. Enemy dot take damage. Inside that parameter, you will write player dot give damage. So this is how you will call parameterized functions. Okay, you can simply write 20 here as well. Okay, this is how you will pass functions. This is how you will pass the data for the parameterized functions. But this is a bad coding practice. If I want to make changes to the player implementation, then I have to change all the things inside wherever I am hard coding the things. Okay, so I will always use player dot give damage. So all my parameters of player are bind with the enemies at the moment. So if my attack damage, my additional attack damage, whatever the random generated additional damage will get calculated, and that will get passed as a parameter here in this line. So give damage function will use the base damage. It will generate the additional damage and pass the parameter to the take damage. And now take damage will reduce the health of the enemy. So if this line is clear, all the functionalities will be cleared of this entire game. Now tell me, is this line clear or not? How this line is working? Because this has the return type, which is returning integer, and this function has the parameter, which is taking the integer, which is the output of this entire thing. Is it clear, guys? How this line is working? Yes, no? No, okay. Anybody else facing any issues? Hello, yes, no? Are you guys there? No, okay. Okay, I will explain it again. We want to give damage to enemy. Okay, so first of all, enemy needs to take the damage. Enemy dot take damage. And as we have already seen, parameters need some data. Okay, parameters has to pass some data. So just like that, if you write here 20, this take damage function will get called. Okay, this take damage inside the enemy class, this is a take damage. This function will get called with the data of 20. Okay, forget about above line, forget about this line, just only focus on this line at the moment. Okay, enemy dot take damage, and inside that parameter I am passing a data of 20. Why? because the definition contains the parameter. And if you don't pass it, the compiler will throw the error. So now we already have seen this logic. Health is equal to health minus damage received, and all the death condition will get checked and all the logic will happen. Now tell me, is this line clear? Take damage 20, enemy dot take damage 20. Is it clear? Yes, no? Got it. Yes. Praveen, is it clear? Now, the bad thing about this line is we are hard coding this thing. Now, this 20 has no relation with the random generation of the damage, has no relation with our player's base damage, right? So what I'm doing, I'm using player.give damage to write here. Okay, I will now remove this line and I will write player.give damage as a parameter of this take damage. Okay, now I will explain what give damage is doing. Don't worry. So give damage, come to the player's give damage. Okay, this is the function. This is a public function. That's why we can access it using the object. Yes, I understand the concept, not passing the value. Okay, that's fine. Now focus on give damage. Now give damage has a return type. Okay, come back to the concept of the return type. Return type is something that you produce output. Okay, this function is producing some output. What that output is, first of all, this function is calling another function of generate random additional damage that we have already seen. Okay, this function, if you see here, this function is filling additional damage with the random range. Okay, I hope these two things are clear at the moment. First thing is give damage is returning integer. The second thing is give damage is again calling another function which is generating some random additional damage. Now I am calculating a total damage, and that will be the addition. This is the plus sign. That will be the addition of attack damage plus additional damage. Attack damage will be fixed, that I have defined already. Okay, and additional damage will get calculated because of this function, and which is happening earlier above the line. It is happening. So all the calculation, all that container is already filled. This variable is already filled with some random value of additional damage. I am just adding that with the attack damage and additional damage, and I am storing this value into this new integer of total damage. As simple as that. I am doing this simple calculation, simple addition, and I am returning this total calculated damage, and that's it. This is the responsibility of this function. So whoever is calling this function, give damage function, will get the total damage value with an addition of base damage as well as the random generated damage. And in our case, this give damage is called by take damage, and that take damage is taking that output as a parameter for himself. And this is how this line is working. Is it clear? If this line is clear, then yeah, like that, you understood the entire flow of parameter as well as the return type. Please let me know if some concepts are not clear. I will try to repeat those. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no? Okay, what about others? Okay, Atharva also told yes. Yeah. Okay. Now tell me, like, you understood this line, right? Now below that, the next task is forget about if condition at the moment. Ignore this. Now tell me only this. Write a logic to give damage to player. What should I write? Quickly tell me. This is our task at the moment. Write logic. What happened? Understand this. Player pressed A. Enemy has taken damage. Now it's enemy's turn to give the damage back to the player. Now you will tell me what lines should I write in the chat, please? It is exactly similar to this line, but yeah, you need to do some obvious logical changes to that line. Now we are giving damage to the player. This is our goal. Can anybody help me with that? Come on. Player dot take damage in bracket enemy dot give damage. Exactly right, Komal. Everybody understood this line? Exactly reverse thing is happening. Everybody, right? Yeah, you might be slow in typing, that's fine, but Komal won the battle here. So player dot take damage, and inside that I will write enemy dot give damage. Simple. Now add the condition if game is not finished. It's simple condition, right? Now you can add it, like I will keep it for you. Just check for both healths. It's a hint. Okay, so if both are alive, then only player need to take the damage. Otherwise there is no point giving player a damage, right? If the game is already over. So that's the challenge. That's the thing, that those are the tasks I am just erasing at the moment. Now, if player is pressing H, what should happen? Can anybody quickly tell me? If player is pressing H, we have a heal function. Okay, heal function inside player. What we should do with that heal function? Public heal function. Can anybody tell me that line? Quickly, we are coming to the end of this. Come on. Now our player wants to heal. What should be that line? It's a simple than this. Player dot heal. Exactly. Player dot heal will heal the player. Now just understand, this is H, this is A, this is entirely different. If A, then enemy will get attacked, enemy will take damage, and then player will take damage. And inside heal, the same thing will happen. But yeah, like here only you have to write the same line. Player dot take damage, because after healing or after attacking to the enemy, it's the enemy's turn. So you have to write the logic for giving the damage to the player again to make the entire game. Okay, I hope it is clear. I hope it helped you. So everything is clear. What are the tasks? You have the entire links to your place. So everything is clear, what needs to be done and how you will be submitting the assignments. All good till now? Did you guys learned anything new in the workshop, or it was pretty boring C++ and pretty traditional things? Okay, yeah, like there are, I guess other might be sleeping or not replying. I don't know what they are doing, but yeah, I guess I can see few people. Yes, it's very interesting. Yeah, great. So again, I will just revise you. This is the assignment submission. Just watch this video, create a cool looking post inside LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, please make it. Okay, without LinkedIn, it's really impossible to crack into any of the industry. If you want to see our students project, surely do that. This is the small template that you can use. You can copy paste this template in your LinkedIn. If you want to create your own LinkedIn post, that's fine. After creating the post, you will be simply submitting this form as a submission, and then our admissions team will contact you. Okay, so please do that. I hope you really liked the session and at least learned something new from the session. So I'm just stopping the screen share. we will just end the session. We are overshooting by 5 minutes, but this is the small activity that we do every at the end of every masterclass. This is something called as outro. That's the religious things in Outscale. Okay, we follow it at the end of every class. So just turn on your cameras, please. Yeah, recording. I will one last time. I will share everything. Okay, workshop recording coming soon. This is the link that I am sharing to you, everybody. Okay, this is the link that I'm sharing. Everybody, please take care of this link. Okay, please take care of this link. So here only I will add the recording. As simple as that. Okay, all clear? Where you will find recording, everybody? Is it clear? Guys, yes, no? Yeah. So I am stopping the screen share. This is the ritual that we follow in the Outscale. Just come back, come to the cameras. Sham, if possible, you can also come to the camera. That will be great. So it's a 1 minute thing, guys. Just quickly do it. And I know you guys are hungry. Yeah. So unmute yourself first of all. Everybody unmute yourself. Great. I guess some of the camera shy people, but yeah, that's fine. Just stretch your hands. Okay, just stretch your hands in front of camera. That's a cool. Yeah, just stretch it. Just wiggle your fingers. Okay. So I will count 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Once I count 1, 2, and 3, everybody will say go team. Okay. Go team. So as we are working as a team, we will say go team. I am counting 1, 2, 3, and you will just say go team. 1, 2, 3, go team. Yeah, everybody is muted. Like, what is this? Like, you just need to unmute it, right? To say, just unmute yourself, everybody. You guys can unmute now. Yeah, can you guys unmute? Yeah, Dipanjan, just unmute, and yeah, we will do it again. Just wiggle your fingers. Come on. Yeah, in the count of 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Go team.
Go team.
Yeah, everybody's tired. I know, but yeah, like that was a really great session having with you. Now you can see very dedicated and passionate audience also only stays till the end. So thanks a lot for staying till the end. I hope you learned something new, and do submit the assignments. Okay, that will be really important if you are really interested to join our full stack game development program. All the best, guys. Have a great